Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games, episode 266. Yes, sir. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
And what is it, boys?
Wednesday.
And you gotta ruin it for everybody.
Darvell Swamp.
Did you guys plan that?
Spoiler alert.
Exactly. We are doing it to it. Oh my gosh. 266 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your first time listening, don't worry about going back. I'm just saying.
It's a long
You
haul.
can if you want to, but it's gonna take you like a year.
Right.
It's a long way. We just passed 5 years, and we are feeling good and feeling fine. Love it. Ed Placencia,
Yes, sir.
what's going on in your life, man? I feel like it's been a minute since we all talked. I can't understand what, because we recorded. Did we record on Tuesday last week or something?
Is that what it was?
I don't remember. It just
I
feels
don't
like it's been a
remember.
long,
It does
long
feel
time.
forever. Yep.
Yeah,
I just
it
don't
feels
know
like
if
it's been forever.
Yeah, I don't know if I've just lived a lot of life in between, or if it actually
You
has
may
been
have.
a long time.
I think you have. You probably have.
Maybe. I don't know. You tell us what's
Yeah.
been going on with you, though.
Not a whole lot. I mean, just kind of like business as usual for the most part, which is nice. Edited a few videos for Sarah this week for her YouTube page.
Mhm.
We had some friends stop over Saturday night. It was what we thought was going to be a slow weekend, and so Saturday we were just kind of chilling at the house. Ordered pizza in. It was just gonna hanging out. I was in the living room just kind of reading some magazines, catching up on my backlog of magazines, and Sarah was in her office recording some things. And all of a sudden, I just hear this frantic knocking at the front door, and just kind of like knock, 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 knock. And it's like 10:30 at night, and I
You getting swatted?
what was that? I know, right?
It was
totally getting.
It was
swatted.
me, Ed. It was me.
I knew it.
Turned him in.
I turned you in.
And so my first thought was it's probably Sarah's nieces or something, and they're just kind of walking around being silly or something like that. And I stood up and I hear, "Oh, Eddie's inside! Eddie's inside! Eddie's inside!" And I didn't recognize the voice. Open the door. It's one of Sarah's friends one of her friends from high school, who I've since gotten to know. And she kind of like yelled at her husband, who was still in the car, and she's like, "Oh yeah, come on in, come on in." I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
And she said, Jack and I, we went to this winery. They had a big thing tonight. We're going to pick up our daughter. She's just a couple of houses down at some friends, but we need to sober up for a bit." So,
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, wow.
I don't want my kids to see me like this.
so
Well
they
played.
came in, we made some coffee, played some Jackbox games for a couple hours.
Got some cauliflower out in Router's
Get
name.
some red wine and cauliflower and call it a
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
Little bourbon at the end. Yeah, you're good.
Right. But it
Wow.
was nice. It was friends that we hadn't seen in a minute, and so it was good to kind of catch up and just kind of if they hadn't have said they'd been out to a winery, I would have had no idea.
Okay.
So it wasn't like they were
Oh,
just
it
kind of
wasn't super
stumbling all
obvious?
over.
They were stumbling.
I
Oh.
need to sit for a few
Those are the
minutes.
best kind of drunks, though, man. The stumbling kind. Oh,
I know,
you can have
Like,
so
why are you
much
guys wearing
fun
each
with
other's
them.
clothes?
Exactly.
You got a lot of nerve asking me that.
Exactly.
You never ask a woman why she wearing these clothes. I could wear men clothes if I want.
I can wear what I want.
I feel strong and good.
I can do anything.
Yeah, you
I
should
feel
sit down.
strong and good and strong
and good.
Yeah,
and good.
here's a 5-hour energy drink. Sit down for a second.
That's right. Sit
Exactly.
down.
Exactly. So yeah, it was a fun night. It was a nice hang and it was a good time. Gaming wise, it's pretty much been the same Family Guy and The Simpsons on the phone. Still getting in some Overwatch, collecting, I think, the last of whatever Halloween loot boxes I can get. I'm getting pretty much nothing but repeats now.
When does that event end? Do you know?
I think it's the 1st of November.
Oh wow, so it's
That would make
a
sense.
while.
Yeah. So I Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but I think
Nope.
it's the first.
Ed said, I'm tweeting it now. Ed
If
said,
Ed said it, that's a quote. That's a direct quote.
I know,
direct quote.
I took for a spin a game called the Turing Test, which is one of the free games from Xbox this month.
Yeah, I saw
And-
that.
You poor thing.
Yeah, someone told me, I forget who it was, someone on Twitter or was on the stream, said it's like Portal, and it really is. It's like a Portal game. And I went into it thinking it was going to be kind of like a horror game or whatever, but it's basically a puzzler. It's pretty fun. It takes you a minute to kind of like Portal. They just kind of throw you into it and let you figure things out. And it's probably a step more intricate than Portal is. So it's like a step more to figure out or whatever. But once you kind of get what they want you to do, it's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
So played that for a little bit. I'll probably go back to it at some point, but it was a fun little puzzler, and it was just, at least for me, just difficult enough where I never felt frustrated, but I did feel like, oh man, that's how, and when you figure it out, you kind of get that, yeah, I got it kind of a feel. So for me, at least, the perfect difficulty level for a puzzler. I'm sure it's going to get more difficult as it goes, but it was fun.
There you go.
Nice, man.
Yeah. And then Tuesday, the South Park Fractured Butthole. And I think I'm 9 hours into it now.
Wow.
And man, it is so much fun.
That's great.
It is so
Oh.
much fun. And not just because of the
so
South
excited.
Parkness of it. And, you know, if you've seen a South Park episode, if you've played Stick of Truth, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get South Park.
Yeah.
You should know. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you should know what you're getting into.
Nothing should surprise you. It was funny on the Discord, someone said, you mean they have a 10-year-old running around in a strip club? And I was like, no. They have two 10-year-olds running around in a strip club. So, but it's really cool because they kind of took it's a turn-based game, and they kind of took that combat from the last game and really amped it up. And it is.
I was going to ask you, is it so much better? Yeah, is it more enhanced? So much better? Oh, great. That's awesome.
I really like what they did. And I've never played XCOM. I think I've watched a little bit of a walkthrough, and it kind of had, I guess any kind of turn-based game might have that same familiarity to it or whatever. I'm not super familiar with the turn-based as far as like, it's like a little chessboard. You have to move your guys around, and where with Stick of Truth, it was basically everyone takes their turn. And this time, everyone takes their turn, and you have to keep track of where you are on the board and who you can affect. And it's really, really well done.
That's great.
They took everything that was really good about the last game and really kind of just amped it up a little bit. It's so much fun, and it's familiar enough. If you've played the Stick of Truth, you'll get a lot of chuckles. If you haven't, you'll get a lot of chuckles. I've laughed out loud the whole way through. You just kind of have to go in
It's
knowing,
so great.
you just have to go. It's very much like it's reminiscent of when I went to see There's Something About Mary, and was just like, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I am laughing so hard at this.
Yeah.
And
You cannot take them seriously. That's the beauty of it, because it's just so over the top that it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like if you try and take Matt and Trey seriously, you're wasting your time.
right. It's so much fun, and it's kind of fun to watch them kind of jab at the whole superhero universe that's the trend right now.
Which is your favorite, by the way?
Which is my favorite, by the way. So it's just kind of fun to watch them, run by adults and have them, mutter, "Isn't that superhero thing kind of over right now?" And it's kind of played out right now and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. I'm having a good time playing that, and it's just it's definitely a world that you can. There's so much to explore, and the more you play, the more side missions open up, and the more you realize, oh my gosh, you can level up and get different powers, and it's just, they really did a good job. So kudos to everyone there. It's just a ton of fun.
Great.
There you go.
Super excited.
I love that you're
Super
enjoying
excited.
that. I love when people are excited about stuff and then it comes out and it lives up to the hype.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
best.
And that's exactly what I felt. I've been looking forward to this game for so long and so excited to play it, and there's nothing better than the excitement being just where it was supposed to be.
And dare I say, I think it's probably, and I haven't started it yet, it's probably worth the wait, right? Like all the delays.
Oh yeah. I mean, now that it's out, I totally forgot that it was delayed, or and like we've usually said, if it needs to be delayed, then delay it. Just so we get a good game when it comes out, and that we got a good game when it came out. So I've got no complaints at all.
There you go.
And that was pretty much my week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tim.
Oh, all right, guys, buckle up. I got some stories.
Geez.
I got some stories for you. Last week was a little short, but this week is not short at all. We're going to start with Piper's topic of the week, which is Atlanta. Like I said last week, it was her fall break. So we took some time off and drove down to Atlanta on Thursday. And we had a really great time. I'll start with story number one. So we had reservations at the Hilton in downtown Atlanta, which is right by the Georgia Aquarium. Right in the heart of downtown Atlanta. Great area to be in. We, of course, didn't leave until like 5 or 6 o'clock that evening. And so we got there at like 11:30. And the place is absolutely packed, like mobbed. There's just cars everywhere. I pull up to valet and said that we were checking in. He's like, valet is full at this time. But then he looks back and sees Piper back there. He's like, but you've got a 5-year-old, so I'll squeeze you in. I said, thanks, man. Gives me the ticket. I give him $10 as a tip and then go in and check in. So we check in. Everything's great. Our reservations. We booked everything through Expedia. We got a decent rate there. And so we get in and we go up to our room. It's like on the 26th floor. And Piper's loving the fact that she can see everything about Atlanta. Really nice view. Yeah. And so she uses the bathroom, flush the toilet. It works fine. And then Lauren goes in there. And then there's no, like the handles just ding, 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 ding. You just hear, and there's no flushing of the toilet at all. Dang so so she's looking at this bathroom like, did they even clean this bathroom? And she's one of those like clean freaks at hotels and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
which is fine. I get it. You're
paying for it.
Yeah, you're paying for it. It might as well be clean. But there was just like gunk everywhere and soap scum and just weirdness. And we're like, all right, what's going on? Yeah. So Lauren gets out and goes and calls the front desk while I'm like, I take the lid off the toilet. I make sure the chain's not broken. I do all this stuff. Like, it's just nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. And so, so she calls downstairs and like, we're sorry, ma'am, we're completely booked. We don't have any other room for you or anything like that. What we can do is get somebody from maintenance or anything like that. And it'll take maybe 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know. They're a little busy right now. This is at 11:30 at night on a Thursday. The place is seriously hopping. So she's like, we got to get out of here. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to call the W and see because we usually stay at a W, either in the one in Buckhead or the one in Midtown or whatever. And they're always really nice and, they're swanky and whatever. But so I'm calling the 800 number off the website. And while that's happening, Lauren jumps on Expedia to see if there's any availability there. So as I'm talking to the guy at the W, he's saying that everything at the W is completely booked. Meanwhile, Lauren is saying, hey, Expedia says there's one room left at the W in Buckhead with 2 queen beds. I'm just going to book it. I said, go for it, whatever you need to do. So Piper's in her Wonder Woman jammies. We throw her sneakers on, pack everything back up. Thankfully, we didn't really unpack much. And I went down to the front and be like, hey, guys, we're out of here. I just want to make sure I get a refund. And they could really care less. They're like, sorry, we're sorry for the inconvenience. And basically told us good luck. So I'm like, the whole time in the back of my head, I'm like, oh man, please let this Expedia thing work. Like, we just booked it and we're going to be there within like 10 minutes. Let's make sure that this process works. Get up there to the W in Buckhead. Boom, reservations there. But we only have it for one night and we wanted to stay 2 nights. So we were like, forget it. It's midnight. Let's get Piper to bed and get unpacked and unwind. The room was great. Everything was clean. And so while I'm there, I end up calling Expedia. And let me tell you something. This episode is now sponsored by Expedia because their customer service was amazing. Like, wow. I was like, okay, so here's our situation. We went to the Hilton. It was gross. We left. How do we get our money back? She's like, hang on one second. She calls the Hilton while I'm on hold and works everything out. She's like, all right, you're going to have a refund within 5 to 7 business days. I said, okay, that's problem number 1 solved. Problem number 2 is that we need another room here at the W, and they're saying that they're all booked up. And she said, all right, hang on one second. She goes and basically calls the W downstairs and comes back. She said, you're going to stay in that same room, and you've got another reservation. All you have to do is change your keys out tomorrow. And I'm like, that's amazing. Expedia took care of everything. So here's the interesting part, which I didn't know. you can call any of like the 800 numbers, like the actual reservation numbers of these hotels, and they'll tell you that it's pretty much sold out. But I think Expedia gets a certain amount of rooms per hotel.
Right.
So we kind of lucked out because it's kind of like how you block out rooms for a wedding. I think they have an allotment of rooms per hotel that you're allowed. So man,
so it might look sold out to the people at the hotel, but it's
exactly.
Expedia
But
rooms,
Expedia has a couple under their belt, basically. So Lauren and I were looking at each other like, man, we're going to be using Expedia from here on out. So that was amazing and stressful all at the same time. So that's story number one. Atlanta was great, though. We went to the Georgia Aquarium. We saw the dolphin show. We had a great time. And as we're driving back up to Buckhead, we noticed there's like a circus event happening nearby. And we look over, and there's a traveling show by Cirque du Soleil called Lucia. And it's kind of a Mexican-themed, like a dream. They call it like a dream of Mexico or something like that. And we're like, I wonder if Piper would really love something like that. Cirque du Soleil is actually really cool.
Right. Yeah, it's incredible.
We've seen it before. And so, like, on a whim, the next morning, I get tickets, and, like, the 4 o'clock show is sold out, but the 8 o'clock's there. And we get in there, and, dude, that show was amazing. I mean, it was artsy, but it was still really, really cool. There was the world's fastest juggler. He was juggling 6 pins, and it was like a blur. The dude was amazing. There's this contortionist who is I think the most flexible man. He has like the Guinness record for the most flexible man. This guy basically could bend backwards. It was the creepiest and weirdest thing. Lauren was freaking out. Like she's like, this man is the devil. It was so weird because like the theme was like they were doing all these different like Mexican themes. Like this theme was a jungle, so he was a snake, and the dude like moved like a snake. It was everybody in the audience was like, oh, it was really creepy. But Piper just was enthralled by it. We had such a good time, and it was just great to get away from the move and being in boxes and just everything. And so it was awesome. And so story number 2, this evening I had dinner with my mom. I wanted to give you guys an update on my father because he had gone through his 6 rounds of chemo, and then I had said that he has to go back in to do some spinal treatment. Yep. Well, I didn't tell you guys this last week because I kind of forgot about it. We were at a party with, of course, our friends Pauline and Pierre at their house. It was a Saturday evening, and I get a call from my mom. She's like, Tim, where are you right now? And I said, well, I'm at Pauline and Pierre's. We're at a party. She's like, okay, because your father's not responsive. I'm like, what? Mom. I'm like, Mom, what does that mean? And she goes, well, he's just kind of on the floor, and I can't get him up. Can you come up here and help me? I said, Mom, hang up the phone and call 911. And my father-in-law and brother-in-law, who are, of course, are firemen, is like, have her call 911. They are sitting there waiting for you. By the time you get up there, they'll already be there. So I said, Mom, hang up, call 911. And so Lauren and I just get up. We excuse ourselves. We're like, sorry, we got to go. So we end up going up there to my parents' house, and there's the ambulance, and my dad is in the back, mouth gaped open, out just stone cold, and he looks gray. I'm like, what is going on? So
yeah, that's scary.
We got there right when the EMS guys put him in, and so we ended up following them to the hospital. So he's in the ER. A long story short, my mother, who is a nurse, of course, he's been taking medication for his back because he still has 3 compression fractures in his spine. And so it's just been and what's weird is that it's a result of the steroid that he gets as part of his chemo treatment. So the chemo, in this whole process, probably all of this would have been pain-free if he just didn't have this response to the prednisone. The prednisone makes your bones a little bit more brittle, and because of all the lying down and the sitting down, he basically had compression fractures in his spine. So my mom, and the other side effect that he has with chemo is he gets hiccups, and he gets like these lurches. And I think I mentioned this in a previous episode. So my mom has a medication for that, for like this lurching that kind of helps relax the diaphragm. On top of that, with his pain, she's giving him oxycodone and before that, earlier, gave him a Valium. Exactly.
Lord have mercy.
The long story short is that my mother kind of overdosed my father a little bit.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
and as a
no.
nurse.
Because the hiccup medication is an actual muscle relaxant too. So the
Oh,
combination of everything. So my poor father is laid out in the ER. So they're trying to get, I was with him. I went back with my mom while Lauren stayed out in the waiting area for a little bit. And they have a great group of church friends too, and they all rallied, and we were all talking together too, and they were there. They were there too, and this was at like 9-10 o'clock on a Saturday night. And so I'm sitting there next to my father, he's out like a light, and the woman was taking blood, and she missed the first time. I mean, he was like a pincushion, and he didn't wince or feel a thing. Like you could do anything to this poor man. This poor man was out. So I go home real quick with Lauren, and so I'm gonna come back a little bit later. What they ended up giving him was called Narking, which is what you give anybody that's used any type of substance, like crystal meth or anything. It immediately reverses the effects of any drug overdose or drug. So he immediately wakes up and is just like writhing in pain from his back and everything. And just started like, I'm talking to my mom while I'm heading back to the ER, and you can just hear him in the back going, oh. So my poor father got drugged. Right. Then they had to use Narcan on him to release the effects of it. And so he's in the ER, and because his white blood cell counts are so low, they end up finding him, thank the Lord, they found an ICU room, intensive care unit room for him, so he keeps him isolated, so he's, prevents the risk of infection.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when the poor guy, when the dust settles, my dad looks at me. He's like, I always knew one day she'd try to kill me. So it was so great to have
his humor about him.
He still had his sense of humor, and of course it wasn't funny at the time now, but now my mother will never live this down, and we will never let her forget this, that she drugged our dad. And she of course felt horrible because she's a nurse. And she was just like, I didn't know, Tim. I didn't know that all these effects would happen. But since then, he's just kind of been, he's been very depressed and very just, I think what's happened is he's been an absolute trooper for these 6 treatments and has really just gone along with everything. And I think the culmination of it's nearing the end, but he knew he had to go back in for this last treatment. His back's been bothering him. He's having all these issues. It's just been wearing down on him. So he's been really emotional for the past week and just really like not wanting to do anything. So he was supposed to go in yesterday for this final treatment, and he got a PET scan along with it. And his doctor was like, look, I think his body's had it. We're not going to do anything tonight. Let's see what the PET scan reveals in the morning. Let's just keep him overnight, get his white blood cell counts up if we can, and go from there. So the good news about all of this is that the PET scan came back clear. He's still free and clear of the cancer, which is great.
Oh, awesome.
That's good deal.
Don't have to do this spinal stuff, so they're going to keep him tonight, and then he's going to come home. And now begins this healing process of trying to get him better, this physical therapy, because he's super weak and he just can't do a whole lot. He's in a wheelchair half the time. And you just feel bad. The man just looks like he's crumbling. So now it's like, I was talking to my mom, it's like, now let's get him excited about things that he wants to get back into as kind of his normal routine. He plays the trumpet in his church, in their orchestra, and they have a big Christmas concert coming up. So that's one goal, like to be able to do that again and get enough breath and all that stuff. So it's been just a really crazy summer for my parents. So we've been we've been certainly trying to be there for them and get things together. But praise God, I mean, he's doing well, and I think now it's just, he gets his checkups and he gets his scans every 5 to 6 months or whatever, and making sure that cancer doesn't come back. But so far so good. So everything's good there.
Wow.
And then this is just a lighter story, just to kind of tell you how like the moving process has been going. On Sunday, we ordered a girl from Home Depot, and they do free assembly. And I said, great, so let's do this.
What did you say?
You ordered a what?
What did you order?
You didn't get that there?
A grill.
I didn't know that. Oh, is this a Russian Home Depot?
I could have swore you said girl.
Yeah,
sounded
like
like
a
girl. You
girl.
said girl.
No,
Yeah.
grill.
We ordered this girl from Home Depot. I was like, I'm at Home Depot an awful lot. I didn't know you could take them with you.
They have never told me I could order that.
It's in the back, and the password is Minnesota.
Exactly.
Anyway,
You got to knock 3 times and get a dowel.
Exactly. And you have to say Canadian Vladimir Putin. And then that works.
Jeez.
No. We've needed a new grill anyway. So we got a 3-burner grill. And so they do all their assembly and stuff on Tuesday. I didn't get a chance to get it yesterday. So I go and get it today. This is just, we go from a really serious topic. This is just to kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Because this is basically my life right now. So I go to customer service. They're like, oh yeah, router. Okay, good. We've got your grill here. I seriously think the guy just took the demo model and just wheeled it up to the front door and then left.
Jeez. No.
Didn't say anything about, hey, can I help you put it in your car or anything like that? He just
He
left.
was like, you look strong.
He's like,
You yourself.
you look strapping. Let's try this. So I'm like, okay. So I wheel it on out.
He was like, I think Dirks Bentley has people for this.
Exactly. I wheel it on out. I bring it back to my truck. I take all the components out and the grill stuff out and everything. And then I'm like, there's no way. It's too like the base. It's just really cumbersome.
There's no way to do it by
right?
yourself.
So I go back into customer service. I'm like, hey, can somebody help me try and bring this in? And this employee comes up. He's like, yeah, no problem. So he comes out with me. We lift it up. It's too wide. So I have to take one of the ends off.
Oh no.
So I said, do you have a screwdriver? He goes, no.
No.
I said,
get out of
wait,
here.
what? I said, wait, you don't? You're Home Depot. You don't have a screwdriver? He's like, let me go check.
What?
I'm like, so I'm like getting aggravated. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. I'm at a Home Depot and they don't have a screwdriver I can borrow. He comes back. He's like, sir, our policy is that when we do any of the assemblies, we can't disassemble it once the customer signed off on it. So basically, meaning to say I have to do it. I said, well, okay, that's fine, but do you have a screwdriver? And he said, no.
Yeah, I'll do it. Can I use your screwdriver, though?
Exactly.
Yeah, we
Can
sell
I go
them
back
on aisle 4.
Right, exactly. Well, that's exactly what I did. So I'm like, okay, thanks. He goes back in. I go get a screwdriver, a $2 screwdriver, and I come back out, and I'm starting to take the part off. And the guy comes back. He's like, you need help with that? And it was one of those, you need help with that? And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I was so aggravated. I popped the thing off and I lifted the thing myself and put it I put it in my trunk and just went away just hot. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I ended up emailing the corporate Home Depot, and I got an email back saying, we're going to look into this for you. So maybe I'll get a free grill out of it. You never know. We'll see.
I know. Yeah, right.
But I'm like, that's pretty much how this whole
Wow.
every little process that should take like 5 to 10 minutes is taking 30 to 45 minutes on everything that I'm doing. And I just feel like there's this black cloud over me. It's like, hey, you're a homeowner again. Have fun. Here we go.
Exactly.
So it's just been crazy. And, we're not able to get a whole lot of stuff done around the house during the week because we're working and there's school, there's soccer. Yeah, there's school, there's there's so much stuff. So the weekends are really our time to do it. We were able to bust out some stuff on Sunday when we came back. So hopefully this weekend we're going to make some really good progress because I'm kind of losing my mind. Like there's just things scattered everywhere and I want to get to some sort of normalcy.
Yeah.
The good thing about all the normalcy is I have been able to play games, which has been great.
Oh, nice.
So I was able to
there you
pick up
go.
Shadow of War. And man, I will be
very nice.
playing that from now till Kingdom Come because I am having so much fun with this game. It is basically picked up right where you left off with Shadow of Mordor. They throw a lot at you, but it's very manageable. And I'm just having so much fun killing orcs, doing vendetta and revenge kills for some of our online community. And it's just like I haven't even gotten into the heart of the story. I'm just going around and killing captains and war chiefs, and it's like getting in. I'm slowly but surely getting into the nemesis because I haven't unlocked the skill to actually turn them to on your side yet.
Right.
I think that's in an Act 2. I'm not even in Act 2 yet. I'm still in Act 1 just because I'm running around having so much fun. But that game is fantastic.
That's awesome.
And it's so much fun. And then I see that Ed is playing the Fractured But Whole, and I'm like, oh man, that's right, that came out. Why didn't I get any notification? Because I pre-ordered it and got the Stick of Truth and played that last year. So I'm looking around in the PS Store, and I'm like, man, there's nothing here. Did they charge me for it or anything? I ended up chatting with customer support, and they're like, oh yeah, we sent out an email when the delay happened that if you want a refund, if you don't want a refund, to respond back, and we'll keep it for you. And clearly I didn't get that email. So they basically refunded me everything. And so I just basically had to repurchase it. But I still got to play the stick of truth out of it too, which is great.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of nice. I got to play that for free, kind of.
Exactly. Right? So I have that downloaded, and that's going to be a while though, because man, I'm starting to stress because I'm going to be in Shadow of War for a while, and then we got Assassin's Creed the end of this month, and Fractured Butthole, and there's
it's a little strange though that they wouldn't have done it the opposite way, to where like if you don't respond, we're keeping your pre-order. You need to tell us you don't want it anymore. I've never heard it be the opposite.
Yeah, I applaud them for reversing that. And he's like, look, I noticed that you do have a refund here. We did it on October of whatever, 16. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even see that coming. So it was pretty sweet. So I'll take it.
Yeah, really.
All that to say, it's been one of those crazy weeks, and I just enjoy talking to you guys. And I love having my morning still, just to be able to play, for like an hour, just to sit and play. And man, that hour goes quick though. I'm like, oh, can I just play for another like 10, 15 more minutes?
Yeah, man. But hours like it's like a tease. I don't know that I could do really just an hour. I'd have to get up at 4.
Especially when you're playing a game like that.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. Like you can do like little pockets of little missions in Shadow of War too. Like there's vendetta missions, there's avenging missions that you can do, and they don't take very long. So it's like, I might have a little lunch break and may go up and do a little gaming in the middle of the day. And, you get kind of that mode. And then the next thing you know, it's like 30, 45 minutes gone by. Like, oh, crap, I got a conference call coming up. I got to get back to work.
I got a conference call I got to be on mute for.
Exactly. Right. Which I have done, by the way.
Pay no attention to.
Exactly. I have done the old mute while playing a game before.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry it was so long, but I just had to give everybody an update on everything. And there's just a lot going on in the Router clan, but we're keeping strong. We do love the house, man. It's great. We've been walking Piper to school in these beautiful, crisp fall mornings. It's nice. We bring Thaxton, and it's just a nice little family time. We're all together, and it's awesome. So we're having a good time with it. Yeah, it's
good deal.
That's it for me.
I'm glad your dad came out on the other side, though, on the foray.
I feel so bad for the poor guy, and my poor mom. Like just sitting with her at dinner, she's just like, this has just been a crazy summer. They had to cancel one of their trips to the UK. They had all this stuff put together, and she's just worried that like he's not going to be able to bounce back from this. And I think he will. Especially if you kind of set goals for him. Like he's one of those guys, he's an Army guy. So you set a goal and he will achieve it, and he'll make it happen. And he does have a physical therapist who's really great. So they're surrounded by really great people, great doctors, great nurses, great physical therapists, great, chiropractors. Like everybody has just been awesome throughout this whole process. So now it's just the healing process. Now he's got to get his strength back, and every cancer survivor tells you like it takes forever to really bounce back from this. It just drains the life out of you. And I think he's just at his lowest point right now. And he's been so good this whole time. And I think it was just the last straw that broke the camel's back for him. And I think he's just kind of over it and wants it to be done and kind of get back to some sort of normal life. So we'll get there.
You need to get a Sonos speaker and just put I Believe I Can Fly just on repeat in the house.
Over and over again.
Just so he can be encouraged. Yeah.
Exactly. He'd love that. Yep.
Oh, man.
There it is, man.
Well, Chris, try to beat that, Doc.
So I've had a very busy week, but not like in the crazy kind of busy like Router had. Mine's just been the normal busy, but just busy. Starting last week, we had began what was a 2-week project, or we thought it was going to be about a 2-week project. We weren't really sure. Basically, we had to redo an entire, at work. We had to redo an entire video section of our website. And basically we had to redo this entire set of videos where they are instructional. And so the instructional ones are more cumbersome to shoot because one, you have to shoot every single SKU in a certain line. And then you have to make sure that you cover every single base and then hope that you don't have to redo anything, or that it all lines up, or that an operation doesn't change between when you shoot it and when you're actually going to get it edited. So it's been a little bit stressful, but I mean, the shooting itself of doing the actual project and all the video work has been going really well. and hadn't had any real hiccups or anything. And then at the end of the week, we were able to wrap pretty much on time. And then on Friday, Stacey and I booked a hotel down in Waco, Texas, because we headed down there.
Why would you go to Waco?
Because we wanted to hang out with Gabe and Jenny and go check out the celebration.
Yeah, you did. Celebration.
Yeah, and it was, I told Stacey, I mean, we knew we wanted to go, but she came up with this idea that she's like, well, why don't I just see if there's, because, she has all these hotel points and stuff. So usually, especially like booking one night, it's no big deal. We usually can do it for fine. But the fact that it was the celebration, we're like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be something there, but will it be a place where she has points? Is it going to be super booked everywhere we go? But we were able to find a room, and so we were able to book it and just drive right down there. And then first thing we did is we just went straight there and we met up with Jenny and Gabe.
Nice.
And,
Right.
Yeah, what is her partner's name? I forgot her name. I got to meet her too. Leah. Yeah, we got to meet Leah. So we hung out with them for a little while. Actually, it's a pretty good amount of time. It's like one of those things where you turn around, you're like, oh my gosh, feels like we've been here like 3 hours. All this
And they're
just
like,
chatting
leave.
forever. Yeah. Well, we were at somebody
trying to
else.
work here.
They're at somebody's house, and we're guests of theirs at somebody else's house. So it was a little weird situation, but at the same time, it felt completely normal once you're there because everybody's just really cool and getting along really well. So it was awesome. And then the next morning, we got up pretty early because we knew we wanted to hit Celebration early on because we had something we had to do later on that evening. And so we got out there and then got to go see Gabe and Jenny just holding it down and selling their stuff. And it was so awesome. I took some pictures and I posted them on our Twitter. So if you didn't see those, you can go scroll through our timeline. I'm sure you'll find them. But man, which I know she has a partner in it, Leah, and her partner had to leave that day. That's part of the reason why Gabe came in to kind of help Jenny out with it. But she was just rocking it, man. It was awesome to see y'all just doing your thing. And like, because we've never had a friend that had like one of those little traveling. We go to a lot of like art fairs and like wine shows and different things like that, where they'll have these little booths that they'll set up and people just selling their little trinkets or their little makeshift stuff or their art stuff or whatever. I've never had a friend that's been part of that, like on the selling side. I was like, it was really cool to actually see somebody and just kind of be able to stand back and watch the other people come in and get like blown away by the stuff that they're selling, the stuff they made, and be like, oh, that's so cool. And it just makes you smile real big and you feel so happy for your friends that it's being successful. You know what I mean?
Man,
it's great to see that, in person, because you can hear about it, but just see it and be able to just stand back and fly on the wall and watch it. And they had this really cool thing because they had these big pieces of wood basically that built out the little booth, and they had drilled these holes in one side of it. So I was on the other side at one point, and I was just taking pictures through there. And I've got pictures of Jenny and Gabe both like selling to people at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I just thought it was hilarious. I loved seeing that stuff. It was really, really cool. And a
You
really
little
great
artsy
time.
photographer.
Yeah, exactly. It was awesome seeing you guys too. When you're at those things, you don't, especially for me, not knowing anybody down there, it was so nice just to have like a friendly face around, and it brought so much peace for Chris and Stacey to come down there. So it was awesome
cool.
to be able to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So jealous, man. You've seen the McCrackens so many more times than I've seen them in like
I told Chris,
3
I was
years.
like, I said, I see you more than I see my mom, I feel like.
It's really crazy how much it works out, but I'm just glad that it does. I'm not
exactly.
I'm not worried about
no complaining. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
we've had some good hang times for sure.
Yeah,
So
we
is
have.
it still true, Gabe, that you've seen Chris and me more than you've seen Router?
Oh yeah, it's got to be true.
Oh, absolutely.
That's so
yeah.
crazy.
I know.
It's gotta be
It's
true.
the weirdest thing.
I don't even know what he looks like anymore.
Exactly. Because I mean, I'm telling you, man.
He's still black, right? He's still black,
yeah,
right?
I am still black. The craziest thing is like, me and Jenny were actually just talking about it last night because we were around some people and we were like, gosh, we love these people, but we never see them. And it's just so true. Like the more kids you have and the busier you get, like that's what you kind of put your whole life into. And we're not in that phase of life to where they can do things on their own. You know what I'm saying? Having a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old is, if everybody was 6 and up, then it'd be way different.
The beauty of that is that we understand too. So like, it's not like, it's one of those just, we know, we get it. If you want to get together, great. If not, we totally, because we know the struggle. So it's it's never anything, nothing's ever done intentionally.
It's not offensive.
No, not at all. No, not at all. I hate you.
I can't believe you guys would do this to us.
Why did you do this? We haven't seen you in years.
Seriously.
No, it's all good. Sorry. Carry on, Chris.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it was a great time. And then on Sunday, well, actually that evening, the reason that we had to get back is because we had a game night planned that we've had planned for like a couple of weeks. And I was like, oh, it like dawned on me that Friday when we were heading down there that, oh my gosh, they're the same day, the celebration and everything. So it was like, all right, well, we're just going to have to make sure we can come back in the evening. So finally got to play. I bought it after E3 and had it since like June or July. Finally got to play Secret Hitler with a group of people. And it was one of those things where, you know, I hadn't played it since E3. So I vaguely remember like how it works, but you know, I'm not like, oh yeah, well this means this and this is for that and everything. And plus it plays differently depending on how many people you have. Fortunately for me, we had the same amount of people as we had when we played at E3. We had 6 people.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, these are the rules that I'm somewhat familiar with. But we have, Kale's kind of like the stickler for rules. So he always like reads the rule book and like figures out how you play the game. And he'll just go on and explain how you play the game to everybody. So he's sitting there reading out these things and how to play the game. And it's one of those things where everybody's like, are you sure we don't want to just play Quelf or something? Because it sounds ridiculously complicated. And I'm like over here like, oh man. I said, look, let's just play a round or two. And if we're not feeling it, we can totally move on to something else. But I'm telling you, it sounds crazier. I mean, it's fun. Like I'm telling you, once you get going, you'll just understand it. It'll just go. Yeah. And sure enough, once we got going, it was all smooth sailing after that.
No, that's great.
No looking back.
The first round was a little bit rocky for some people trying to figure out the things, but we played, I think, 2 or 3 rounds. But definitely by the second round, everybody knew what was going on, and everybody was like, "Oh, okay, I get it. I see. Totally."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it just as fun?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun, and everybody, we're looking forward to the next time. It'll probably be in the rotation of the games because this time it was a little bit of a shorter game night than we've had in the past. And so, like, because our friends that came over, they brought their little daughter with them, which usually they are able to get a sitter. They weren't able to get a sitter this time. But it was cool because we just put on, like Moana, and she just watched that, and it all worked out fine. It wasn't a problem. But obviously, being a younger child, they had to make sure that they got her home, put her into bed. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So the next time we'll probably filter in a little bit of that. Plus, we were gonna try to get in some That's You as well because these people hadn't played that before, and Katie and Kale have never played that either. So that might be something that we work in the next go around. And then this week, the next morning on Sunday, Stacey went down to up to Oklahoma. Excuse me. She was gonna go see both of my nieces are they're in cheerleading. One's in middle school, one's still in elementary school, and so she was going up there to be able to see them cheer for one of their last few. School? Well, I mean, I guess so. I mean, she's like in 5th grade, so it's like on the cusp there. Okay. Yeah, it's not like she's in 1st grade or anything.
I was like, what are you cheering?
Yeah. So she got to go up there and see them because we haven't been able to make a trip up there. Yeah. We haven't been able to make a trip up there to see them cheer at any of the games like the whole year. And this is going to be like one of the last times that they had a home game. And so unfortunately, because of the 2-week project I'm working on right now, I wasn't able to take off. But Stacey was able to go up there, and that was a lot of fun. I got to see a lot of pictures and video and stuff. So that was pretty awesome.
That's great, man.
House-wise, I think everything is pretty much done. And unless I get an email saying otherwise, the plan is to close this coming Friday.
Hey.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
Now it's a little bit crazy after that because the homeowners the current homeowners are gonna have the house until at least next Wednesday. And then I can't realistically probably move in until like November 11th. So, geez. Because this coming weekend, they'll still have the house. The following weekend, it's possible I may be able to move in some of our stuff, but Stacey won't be here and nobody else. Like, I could probably organize some people, but I kind of want Stacey to be there just because she helped pack like half of it when I wasn't involved. And it's like, I don't want to disperse things in a weird way.
I feel you on that.
And then the weekend of the 4th. Yeah, the weekend of the 4th, which is the weekend after that, that's Katie and Kale's wedding. So we're not going to do it that weekend either. So if I can't move anything through the 28th, then that means it'll probably be like the week of the 11th, that weekend, probably before we can move in, which isn't like a huge deal, but we'll just have to see what happens. I really don't know how this is all going to go down. We had thought about...
How's your...
What was that?
Oh, I was going to say, how's your best man duties going?
Best man duties are going great. We're having the they're having a co-bachelor and bachelorette party this coming
couples.
weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
There you
which is
go.
kind of it's similar to what Stacey and I did. We had ours together as well back when we got
That
married.
takes the pressure off a little bit too.
Yeah, and I approached him really early on. I was like, hey, are y'all like, Kale, what are you thinking? Do you have anything in particular you do want to do, don't want to do? And then like, do you guys want to? Yeah, I threw out the idea. They were kind of hemming and hawing, and I was like, well.
Jeez.
I said, hey,
so inappropriate. I'm sorry.
Stacey and I, we did ours as like a joint thing, and they're like, oh yeah, and they like really took to that idea. So
That's great.
we're gonna be doing that this coming Saturday. We're gonna go to dinner, and we're gonna do some karaoke and a couple of other things.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, tell them I
and-
land at 6, so
Yeah, I'll
not
be
to get
sure
it
to let
on
them
and
know.
popping just yet. Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure to have a slow roll, and they get rocking once you walk in.
Thank you. I'll bring the karaoke machine.
Exactly.
Do all Darius Rucker songs.
Man, whatever you
All
want, as
songs
long as
with
you're
the
singing,
beatbox.
we're good. As far as gaming wise goes, only thing I've been playing is I've been playing some more Destiny. I finished out the Titan, so I got that trophy. So I only have one
Nice.
trophy left to get.
Dude.
It's
Yeah,
for
man.
the
Go get it.
Prestige Nightfall or Prestige Raid, but I'm focusing on the Nightfall part. Which basically, so the Nightfall is already the hardest strike you can do each week in the game, and this is the hard version of the hard strike.
Oh,
wow.
man.
And
wow.
so the other night, I kind of felt bad. I was like, hey, Ed, I'm going to be on Overwatch about 8. And I was like, I'm going to jump on and do this Nightfall real quick just to see if I can't get this trophy. Well, 3 hours later, I had moved over. And then I honestly, I completely forgot because I got total tunnel vision because we kept getting so close to beating this thing. And then I get this like boop on Hangout, and it's like, I guess you're still in there. I'm like, man.
6 hours later.
So I was a horrible friend that night. So I apologize, Ed. And I didn't even get anything to show for it because we didn't make it through. So,
But are you close? Like, do you feel like it's closer?
Yeah, the thing
That's
is
great,
that
man.
the strike rotates every week to a different strike and it has different modifiers. So I feel like the one last week, I want that strike, but there's a particular set of modifiers that I feel like when that strike hits and these modifiers, I think it's totally doable. Like I feel very confident, but
Good.
I tried, that one that night. I've tried with Ray and Dan this week on this current strike, and it was a little too hard. So I'm just gonna have to wait. But I'm hoping to get the trophy. I'd like to get the platinum before Call of Duty and Battlefront come out because those are the next two games on my list that are dropping down because all the games are starting to hit now. But I still have a little bit of time because I think Call of Duty and Battlefront don't show up until like early to mid-November or something like
cool.
that. I need to look at them again. So I've got another week or so.
It's really right around the corner if you think about it.
Yeah, it definitely
that
is.
is
But it gives me
crazy,
at least one more week to work on it. And then I probably may not be able to jump in those games right away anyways, because depending on the home situation and do I have internet and all that kinds of stuff. So it may get a little bit of a delay anyway. So we'll just have to see. But that's all I'm playing is Destiny here and there. And then been playing a lot of Overwatch. I haven't gotten any of the new stuff, but I have gotten a few of the last year's Halloween skins to drop, which is great because I didn't have any of them. So it's all been gravy on that front. I just haven't got. I really want that new Zenyatta skin, but I got enough coin inside the game, so I'll be able to buy it if I can't get it to drop for me anyway. So one way or the other, I'm gonna get that skin.
You're gonna get it.
Yeah. And that is pretty much it for me.
Nice.
All right, Gabe.
Oh
Hit
yeah,
us with some celebration and whatever else you got.
yeah. Celebration was awesome. It's really hard work because you're outside and the heat's coming down on you. But I've been telling everybody, getting in the trenches like that with your significant other is like almost unmatched. You know what I'm saying? Like, even as hard as it was and as tired as we were at the end of the night, like, I still had like such an amazing time, and I was so glad that I got to do it. And it's just like a fluke that I got to be there. You know, like Chris was saying, because Leah had to leave and go to a wedding, it kind of opened that door for me to get down there and jump in and help out. And so it was really cool to spend all those hours building this booth and then get to like really be involved with the thing. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yep. The process of it.
right. And then obviously seeing Chris and Stacey is always great, but it's just that much sweeter when my wife is there. And then, us being able to be two couples and hanging out and talking and, as much as I want Jenny to get to know Stacey because of how much I know Chris, and so all that was really fun. And staying in the house that we stayed in was a house that was done by Joanna from the Fixer Upper show. So that was just kind of cool to be staying in a house like that. And the lady we were staying with runs the bakery that's there on the premises. And so all that was just really cool, getting to see our buddies from Johnny Swim. They performed for 2 nights. And so getting to catch up with Amanda, who's half of that group, was great. And so it was just really fun. And seeing,
that's great, man.
Like Chris was saying, seeing people's reactions to what Jenny and Leah kind of put together, and seeing people's eyes light up or touch the sweater and be like, ooh, this is soft. And, it's hard to sell a sweater in 95-degree weather, but
right.
with it being an awesome sweater, it's still sold. So that was really fun. I got to meet, I don't know their names, but the twins from Dude Perfect. Do you guys know Dude Perfect?
Oh,
They're
yes.
the YouTube channel that does all the crazy basketball
that's
from
great.
way far away.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are
Stuff
awesome.
like that. They have like a Bass Pro Shop commercial right now or something like that.
Yep.
And so one of them walked by and I was like, that's the dude from, and Jenny was like, you should say something. I was like, what am I going to say? Hi, I like your YouTube videos. And so it was like the end of the night. And I guess one of the twins' girlfriends or wives, I don't know what their situation is, she had a booth that was like 5 down from us. And so they were kind of tearing down when we were tearing down. And there was a part where both brothers were pushing like a cart that they used to transport all their stuff back. And I just kind of like stopped them real quick. And I was like, hey, man, because they do a lot of ministry minded things as well, not just like the Dude Perfect stuff. So I just stopped and was like, man, I really appreciate what you guys do from a ministry standpoint. I know you got the other thing going on, and I've been watching you for years, and that's great, but I really appreciate this. And so we got to talk about that for a little bit and talk about Toby Mac and stuff like that and music.
That's great, man.
Yeah, so it was really cool. And they're really nice guys. Good. They, I mean, they're not heroes of mine, but people say don't meet your heroes. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to meet the people that you've been watching on, the internet. But they lived up to. I mean, they were just so sweet and kind, and we didn't talk for that long. Yeah,
I love
great.
those guys they're like just good, positive guys, and they do amazing trick shot, fun stuff, and get everybody involved. And it's just a good channel to subscribe to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was really fun to be.
That's
able to
really cool, man.
Sit and talk with them, and then we do that. We're exhausted. We're coming home, and then 2 days later we have the Dove Awards, which I think I explained last week is the Christian version of the Grammys, and so. I performed at that with Ryan Stevenson doing the Eye of the Storm.
Nice.
So,
did he win for best single?
He won for Pop Song of the Year.
Nice.
So they kind of break up the category. So he didn't get like Song of the Year. He was up for it, but the other one he was up for was Pop Song of the Year, and so he got that one. So that was cool. They were like, cool. So you'll get a Dove in the mail because you sang on the song. I was like, oh snap. I didn't.
Nice.
That's cool.
Didn't figure, but because I'm a feature on there, I guess. So anyway.
Yeah, man.
That was really cool. And just, anytime, and that's what I was talking about, whenever you see these group of people, I forget how long I've done this until I go to something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, shoot, man, like, everybody or everybody's got a story. And then with my mom running the Doves, it was like,
I was going to say, does your mom still produce it?
Yeah. And so it's fun to hear people brag on my mom and, because it was kind of been this weird circle of a thing where my mom was in the industry first. So for forever, I was Jackie's son. And then she moved up to New York and did it from up there. So while she was doing that and I started the Toby Mac thing, then she became Gabe's mom. Oh, you're Gabe's mom. And so now we're kind of back to like you're Jackie's son thing. And it's just a really, I'm just really proud of her and everything she's accomplished and bringing that thing back to life. And, so it was really cool to just sit back and be like, dang, I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, it's weird when we were at the show, I was like, it's weird looking at this thinking that my mom did it because it feels like me and my mom always talk about like we're pulling one over on everybody. Like, I can't believe people think that we're good at what we do. We're like, we are some no college going, untalented, because we're surrounded by amazing talent. And so it's so easy to feel not very talented. And so for us to be able to be in the position we are, and then, for my mom to produce it and then me to be able to sing on that stage. And then, now I'm singing on the same stage that my dad sang on back in the 80s when he was doing his thing. And so it's just so full circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's amazing,
so
dude.
she's introducing me to people. I'm introducing her, and everybody's like, "What? This is your mom?" And people, "Oh, this is your son." And so that's just that's
awesome.
really
Cool.
fun. It kind of
This is a chubby ninja?
exactly. I didn't know the chubby ninja was your son. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
MTTG?
Small world. Yeah.
Street
team? Yeah, street team. And so that was just really, really cool.
That's great, man.
And so now we're kind of semi back into the swing of things. And I've got a show this weekend in Columbia, South Carolina. I think I leave tomorrow night. We'll be there on Friday. And then we're really lax the rest of the year. So
That's awesome,
it'll be
though.
nice
Good,
to really
though,
just
man.
soak up the holidays. This is going to be the first holidays in years that we've been home. Usually we're heading out for tour on the night of Thanksgiving. And so it'll be nice I think we have 3 shows left for the rest of the year. And so that's
awesome.
crazy for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait for the Milo and Remy Santa Claus picture shot.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be epic.
That's not going to be good at all.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so
man.
great.
Yeah.
Please take pictures.
Remy's going to be trying to light his jacket on fire. And Milo's going to be crying. And Amara's going to be there in the middle smiling.
Right.
Exactly.
With Santa.
Yep.
And so, so we're promising to ourselves to take this season slow, but it's just so hard to with school every day now, and just activities and stuff. But we want to take it slow. We want to soak it in because we don't know it's going to be like this next year or the year after. Next year is going to be a release year for Toby, so we'll ramp back up and be busy again, and probably fall tour, winter tour, spring tour, summer shows. So. We'll see, but at least
you are not doing Winterfest, right? You're not doing Winter Jam, right?
This time last year, we were pregnant with Milo, and so Jenny did Celebration pregnant last year out in that heat, and then
that's right.
and then Milo was born on the 23rd of November, so right in there with Thanksgiving and coming up on Christmas. We spent Thanksgiving in the hospital when he was born, and so we don't have any of that going on this year.
You better not.
Hey, you can actually sleep in your own bed on Thanksgiving.
Exactly. I don't have to sleep on a pull-out couch if that's what they want to call that.
Exactly. Pull out whatever.
Get dehydrated on the plastic that they have on the cushion.
Exactly. Every time you move, it's like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it sounds like you're peeling off duct tape.
Am I on butcher paper? What's going on here?
Exactly. They're like sleeping on a fly trap.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's stuck. Poor Gabe's head is stuck in the morning. Babe, can you help me out?
Yeah.
I know you're having a baby and all, but can you peel my head off of this, please?
I would just lift up my right arm and just pull me up, could you?
Right. You stand up and the couch lifts up like 4 feet.
Exactly.
Exactly. There's just a pool of water under my arm. So,
awesome.
Yeah, so we're excited.
That's great, man. That's really great.
All that said, obviously I haven't been doing any gaming. But what's funny is that Remy has started calling the Nintendo the 1-2 Switch. I don't know where he heard that, but so every day almost he's like 1-2 Switch, 1-2 Switch, can we 1-2 Switch? And so I downloaded the demo for the dancing game, or we call it that. What's it actually called? Just Dance.
Let's Dance.
Just Dance. Yeah. So we call it the dancing game in our house, but so I downloaded the demo for that, and so we've been playing that, and he's been having so much fun, and so
cool.
I've recorded a little bit of that, so I might post it on Twitter sometime. But so we've been doing that, been doing Mario Kart where I'm playing and he's acting like he's playing.
Right,
nice.
So that's fun. Or we'll break it up into 3, and I'll just put the auto drive and don't fall off the edge on him and Amara, and then I'm playing up in the corner, and so.
And you're smoking them all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's funny. Jenny was like, "You are so competitive," because even when I'm up against them, I'm like, yeah, whatever, and I'm freaking trying to get first place. And
it's practice for you, man.
it is because I help with them, and then I look up and I'm in 12th place, and I'm like, all right, well, we got to earn this one.
Right.
He's yelling in Remy's face, "In your face, sucker!"
Yeah, like coming up on your left, here come a red turtle shell.
Right, just saving that red shell.
Yeah.
It's so great.
So that's been fun playing with them on that, and but haven't touched the PlayStation, haven't touched anything on the PC.
All good,
so
man.
hopefully next week after I get back home, we'll slide.
I was going to say
some,
your time is about to start. This season is definitely until Jenny makes you do something in the house.
Exactly. And so I
it's
think
all good
between now and next week, I'm gonna go see the Foo Fighters, I think, next week.
Oh,
That's
nice.
really
right.
fun.
I'm so jealous.
And then I'll talk about that next week. Ooh.
Ooh,
Cliffhanger.
Teaser.
Yeah, teaser. You have to listen next week. Sorry
What
if this
does
is your first
Gabe
week
got?
listening.
Tune in next
Yes.
week to find out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Gabe got something.
So, yeah, man. So life's going and going and
Nice.
going.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Good,
Good
man.
deal.
Sure. Woo. All right. I feel like I got cotton mouth from talking so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
me too. It's all good.
Router,
Yes.
you got it.
Yes.
Well, let's do it.
This portion of the podcast brought to you by Expedia.com.
.com.
Anyway, .com. Or at least I'd wish it be Expedia.com.
Exactly.
All right. Anyway,
wish it'd
new
be.
releases this week. As Eduardo has said, South Park, The Fractured But Whole, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Go get your inappropriateness on.
Yeah, exactly.
NBA 2K18 is now released, Gabe, for the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Wanna get your-
No, that's been released. It must be
Oh,
something
for the
else.
Switch?
Yeah, it's been released. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Because
FIFA
they've been
8
playing it on Twitter. They're like, you should get this. I'm like, I bought NBA Playgrounds and played that for like 2 days. Fool me once. Shame
Yeah,
on
right.
me. Yeah.
FIFA 18, the Ronaldo edition for the Xbox One and PS4, if you want to get your soccer on.
There you go. King it.
Hey, exactly. Ed, I didn't hear about this, but the Jackbox Box Party Pack 4 is now out for the
Oh,
PS4,
really?
Xbox
It's
One,
been
and
releasing
PC?
all week. It'll be out. Well, by the time this comes out, it'll be out for everyone, but it comes out for the Xbox on Friday.
Nice.
There
you
Okay,
go.
There you go.
Get your Cookie Masterson on.
Right.
There you go. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle Ultra Challenge Pack for the Nintendo Switch. Life is Strange Before the Storm Episode 2 Brave New World for the PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Yeah, get your puberty on.
Get your puberty on. Get your adolescence on. For the Nintendo Switch and the 3DS, Fire Emblem Warriors is out.
Oh, that was a big deal for a lot of people. That Fire Emblem.
And then one more for the Switch, Siberia. No idea what that is.
It's an old game.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Thanks a lot, Switch.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Switch. Way to bring out
They're
those
like, check
real
out this lineup. We got Skyrim and Siberia.
They're like,
Pac-Man.
we got Oxenfree. We're like, yeah, we played it out already.
Exactly.
Exactly. Oh, man. Yeah.
Why?
Good on you, Switch. So I was looking, and I will still probably throughout the night continue to look, but MPD for September was supposed to be out now, and I still don't have it. So we will have to wait for numbers. Yep, I'm just checking again, and it's not there. So yeah, I will. It'll have to be next week for our sales figures for September. We did have one oops, and poor Gabe got crucified for this one. Mark Boucher, we can't sweep the oops under the rug, gentlemen. Smirk. It's called taquitos. He said Tostitos, then Totinos, the pizza bites people. So and he even put like a screen
knew
grab
this was
of it. So
coming.
I was like, oof. I'm like, poor guy. But we all
Yes.
knew
To
exactly
be
what
fair,
you were
though, I
talking
think
about.
I said Totino's.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and so that was.
So you
and I-
opened the door and Gabe just
Yeah, I
rolled with
opened
it.
the door.
Yeah,
So it's not
Totinos,
all
Tito's.
Gabe. It's a dual oops. I'll take part of that burden.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you guys remember, I was single parent with 3 children that week.
Yeah. It's all
I
good.
barely knew my name.
It's all good.
But I will
Also,
also
I was
say,
like-
those are nothing like enchiladas. Those are way smaller. Taquitos are. So when
It
you're like,
depends on
that
how
looks
many
like
you
what I was
eat.
trying to make.
Well, you have to understand too, because I was gonna make them in the small enchilada, like the small
Yeah.
what do you call them?
Batches?
The small, like, you can get the big, 10-inch
The
things you roll up.
Tortilla?
Babe, what are they called? Tortillas.
enchiladas. Tortillas. Yeah.
So we have the small ones for Amara, and so that's why it felt
Gravy.
like the same size to me.
It's all good, man.
Gotcha.
Oh Lord have mercy! I was just trying to keep my head above water. I told Jenny, I was like, I don't know how you do it. It's
Yep.
incredible. Like I'm gone for 2 weeks. She was gone for 3 days. I was like, is everybody
Yeah.
still alive? Okay, everybody's still alive. 1, 2. Oh, where's your brother? Where is your brother? Sadie, where's Remy at? So,
getting the dog help.
exactly. Milo's trying to do the stairs now. And so it's it's all these things. Like he's it's funny because he's so sweet and laughing and smiley.
He's such a cute kid.
At the same time, he's just like all like, boy, climb up, tear things down. Like it's the same as Remy, except Remy was mean, so it felt like it made sense.
Jeez.
He's supposed to be destructive.
Yeah, exactly.
It
made sense. And so, but with Milo, he's like, ha 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 ha, I'm gonna go eat the dog food. Ha ha ha, ha. I'm gonna go climb up the stairs. You're like, no. What are you doing? You were supposed to be the peace in our house.
That should be his voice from here on out. Remy's got that low dark voice.
Yeah,
and Milo's like, ha 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 ha.
He's like, ha 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 ha. I was just over here. I was just gonna drive the car quick.
Right. Exactly. Let me stick my finger in this plug.
The fork belongs in the sprocket.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Oh,
anyway, that's it for me. Back to you guys.
Chris McCracken.
All right. Well, there was some crazy stuff that happened this past week. So everybody knows outside of the gaming world that kind of the big storm that's been hitting and going around has been all the craziness that's come out and been leaked out, or not leaked out, but come out and told about all the stuff that happened with Harvey Weinstein. And it's kind of been just like trickling down, like more and more people have been coming out talking about him.
It's amazing.
Or other situations that may not be involved with him, but a similar situation in the same industry. Well, it's kind of just going on and other areas. And it started campaigns with women saying the whole like Me Too, and basically just in solidarity that I've gone through stuff before as well. And so over the weekend, it kind of also happened in the gaming world. So there was a level layout artist, formerly of Naughty Dog. His name is David Ballard. And he came out and said that basically in 2015, he was sexually harassed by a lead at Naughty Dog. He did not name the person. He just said a lead at Naughty Dog. And then he said that it really, obviously, bothered him, and to the point where he ended up kind of having like a breakdown at work. And then that ended up getting Sony HR involved. And he says that he mentioned at that point the sexual harassment, with which he was then quickly fired after that. And that he says that they offered him $20,000 as like a severance package, but also to sign something saying that he wouldn't speak about any kind of harassment. He declined to sign, he says. And then he's been unemployed since then for like the last 17 months. And then the following day, Naughty Dog came out with a statement as well. It was kind of a joint Naughty Dog and Sony statement, but is from Naughty Dog's Twitter. And they basically just said that they don't have any evidence that there was ever any allegation of sexual abuse. Obviously, they said that we're against any kind of sexual abuse of any kind at all. We don't stand for that here at Naughty Dog. And that we take all these kinds of matters seriously. Basically, all the kinds of things you would expect a company to say when an allegation of this sort has been levied against them.
They have good PR.
Yeah, exactly. So it's at the moment, it's kind of crazy because when it happened on Twitter, I was like, oh man, this is going to be really bad for a really long while. And I don't really feel like it's drug out a lot. Like I feel like he made his statement, Naughty Dog made their statement, and it's kind of just been left there.
Yeah.
And so I really don't know what to do with this, because part of me wants to believe just because Naughty Dog makes such great games, and the people that you do know that are personalities out there on Twitter, like Neil Druckmann and other people that have worked there, they seem like such great people. And it's hard to believe that something like this could happen just in general. But then when you become fond of like a studio and the people that work there, you're like, oh, it seems like it's like this happened at Naughty Dog. It's so hard to believe. But then at the same time, like,
well,
David
and because
Ballard,
it's a man a little bit too.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
No, I'm just saying it kind of all works in there when you're thinking about it. When you're like, oh man,
I
a
agree.
Naughty Dog, and it's a dude, and you've heard this ginormous wave of women coming out saying,
yes,
this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, me too. Like you were saying, hashtag me too, hashtag me too. And so you kind of got used to hearing women talk about it a bunch. And then it's been very quiet. I think Terry Crews said something happened to him as well. And then this guy's coming out about Naughty Dog. And so it's kind of like, it was almost like a gear shift in my head. Like, oh yeah, I guess this could happen to men too. Like I'm so used to us being awful. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. Us as a
and
species,
it could have happened from another man. I don't, he didn't say, he didn't say, I'm guessing it's from another man because we're awful.
Right.
But yeah, I was with you, Chris. I was like wrestling with the whole thing in my head, like wrapping my mind back around like, okay, yeah, it could happen to a guy. And man, that does suck that it's Naughty Dog. And of course, Naughty Dog's going to say that they didn't do it. I guess that's what everybody says. You almost hope that like they would be like, this did happen. This was raised to our thing. We took care of it as well we could. We didn't fire him because of it. I almost wanted them to give some kind of validity to the story.
Right.
Because what happens is, I think a lot of times, and not that this happens all the time, so please take this with like a grain here. But like, I think there are some bandwagon people that will hop on and say something like this happened. I agree. But you always give the truth to the one that has happened to. You don't usually question that. Like, no, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like instantly they're the good guy and whoever did it is the bad guy. And so I was hoping for some more clarity too, Chris. I was right there with you.
I feel it's not dangerous, but it's just too bad that like we haven't heard anything else about it. We don't have any more details. And so then just to see people speculating because that
makes it worse.
That
makes it way worse.
Doesn't help anything. And so it's just it's just not a good situation anyway.
Especially for the people still there at Naughty Dog. You know what I mean? You're kind of looking around now like, man, was it you? Was it you? Like, you've always been kind of creepy. Was it you? You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, the crazy thing about it, too, is that so David Ballard, like, he's not as public facing as like a Neil Druckmann or anything like that. Of course, but he's been, he's been somewhat out there as well. You know what I mean? And he's been on different kind of funny podcasts and whatnot. Like, he knows people as well. So people know who David Ballard is what I'm getting at. So it's like I was kind of getting at earlier when it's like, oh, it's hard to think like something like this could happen in Naughty Dog just because you feel they're so, they're so well respected. It's like something crazy like this happening.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, but it's also hard to believe that David Ballard, and from his reputation, that he's just going to make this stuff up. It's like, how is that really going to benefit him? I mean, yes, you can have, you always have those people that are like, oh, they're just trying to like get in on attention and stuff. And it's nothing. It comes out later on. It's like, oh, that was all made up. And there was it's unsubstantiated. Yeah. But it's like, I don't feel like this is the kind of guy that would do that. You know what I mean?
And because we even bring up the fact that there might be people who would just do it for whatever, a different reason. That's a big reason why a lot of people don't say anything.
Right.
It's because that's
very true.
The reaction they'll get.
Yeah. And in this case, there's a lot of hurdles that need to, be jumped over at this point because it is kind of an interesting situation that it is a male, first off. So, I mean, he has a lot to prove here. And, I'm not taking either side. It's still horrible either way, but they haven't said anything. And you would think that he would have everything there and documented, if he's going to make a statement like this, especially because it is a little different because of what we're seeing in Hollywood, where it's more female focused. This is now male focused. So this is definitely skewed a little bit more. And I feel like it's just, this is a little bit different. And so there needs to be a little bit more clarification here.
Yeah. And it's awful. It's just sad that you see people coming out saying, well, I'm never playing another Naughty Dog game again. And you hate to see that because it's not like there's only 4 people that work at Naughty Dog.
Exactly.
Right.
And obviously, it was because he felt he needed to say it. It was something that wasn't common knowledge. Yeah. So it's not like everyone at Naughty Dog was keeping this on the down low. And so it's just a sad thing to see the entire face of Naughty Dog get, well, I'm never playing this game again. And it's like, I don't know if that's the right response.
Exactly. And it would be one thing if this was some like major cover up that a lot of the employees knew about, or they, that might be a little bit different, but man, there are still a lot of people and a lot of developers out there who have families and, who rely on their paychecks and, who are working their butts off for this kind of stuff, and you don't want to dishonor them either. But at the same time, you have to take this really seriously. So I can understand the constant wrestling and back and forth, because we all love Naughty Dog, and it's just like, well, all right, what do we do with this now? Where does this go? I'm praying that something gets revealed a little bit more, and we can find out a little bit more about it. That might help us with our, put some sort of closure to this. But it's just, this whole week has just been crazy with all this stuff coming out. And it's just like, this is insane, people. And as Gabe said, we are idiots. So it's just like,
exactly.
This just sucks.
And it is par for the course. I mean, like, you're going to have more and more people come out. And I think in a good way. I think it's really therapeutic for something like this to happen for those that these terrible things have happened to. To feel like, okay, now I won't get stomped on if I raise my hand. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I'm glad he said something, even if it's just for him. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's the other thing.
To get it off his
just,
chest.
It could be just his slightly more elaborate, but version of just a Me Too, just to get it off his chest kind of thing. The fact that because he was fairly specific about some things, but then very purposefully didn't name anybody in particular other than the company. So it's like, something tells me he's either didn't want to, or he's just not there yet to go any further than what it is. And the fact that, I don't think he's tweeted anything since this happened. So I don't know. I really don't know if like more's going to come down the road and we're just going to have to find out, because it's just every way you look at it, there's negativity. I mean, it's
I think too, it adds
it's
to the
unfortunate
fact
for
that
everyone.
Right. And I think it adds to the fact that he wasn't just trying to get attention because he didn't name somebody. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he wasn't like, you know what, I'm going to just serve this person up. That says a lot about who this guy is.
Yeah. And just the fact that he wrestled with, when people would ask him why he left, that he would have to make up other reasons for so long. And that just can't be easy to do. Yeah.
And was this case classified as an abuse case or as a... I
think it was harassment, right?
Yeah. Well, he said sexually harassed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, and most corporations take that stuff super seriously. It gets filed with HR. They have classes. Like
he said he did all that.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's so conflicting.
Yeah, we'll just have to see if it ends up going anywhere else further. I mean, the one thing, shining light that you could say on all of this stuff is that in every aspect of it, with all in the TV film industry and everything, it's like the more light that's brought to it, that's only going to help to like make this, squash this stuff more and keep it from happening, because once you get a tidal wave like this of people coming out, it just makes other people less likely to stand in the darkness when something like this happens. They're gonna be like, no, there's precedence now. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Got you.
Absolutely crazy.
Shoot.
All right, give us something nice and lighthearted, please. Somebody.
This thing, man, we struggle with sexual harassment and cancer on this episode.
Ugh.
Real life stuff, y'all. Real life stuff.
Real life.
Let's see.
So Shadow of War is a great game.
Yeah, exactly.
You can go avenge and hack orcs. It's fun.
Yeah, take all your anger out on these orcs. So there's a guy over at IGN named Andrew Goldfarb. I'm guessing that's how you say his last name.
Yeah, Andrew Goldfarb, Beyond.
And he said he flew to Austin, Texas, just to try to finish up capturing all the Pokemon in Pokemon Go. 1,750 miles to catch a Pokemon.
What?
Wow.
But he also flew to around the world, which part of it for work, but part of it for his own leisure to finish out his Pokemon.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it wasn't so much the story that I thought was crazy, but it made me think, like, what crazy things have we maybe gone out of our way to do for gaming? And I was trying to think in like my own world. Like, obviously, even though it's for a good cause, trying to do the extra life thing and trying to play in the middle of the night or early in the morning and record yourselves and all the things that people do and like the midnight releases that people camp out for, especially back in the day when they used to set up tents and stay overnight at a Best Buy or at a GameStop and really gone out of their way. Have you guys gone out of your way much for gaming? Like, I know this might be just a me and Chris conversation, but I didn't know if, like, Chris, you did any midnight launches or anything like that.
I did do a few midnight launches for Call of Duty a couple of times in the PS3 generation when I first was getting back into the swing of things. And I also did, I went and got my PS4 at midnight when it launched. But those are the only things that I had done. Anything prior to that, because I had my stint where I wasn't doing any gaming, and then I would have been in high school, and that wasn't really like a thing that I did at that point in time.
Right. And I didn't want to make it the question of the week, but I just wanted to get people bubbling on Twitter and on the Discord talking about maybe some of the crazy things where they're like, man, I stood out there for, because I remember, I remember when I think it was the Wii U, the Wii, and the 3DS maybe. I can't remember exactly, but the same guy in New York stood outside Nintendo World and was like always the first guy to get those, whatever system was coming out.
Really?
And I was like, dang, man. And he would like go out there like 4 days in advance to make sure that he was like the first one, and he always got a picture with Reggie, and they would post it up and stuff like that. And so I was like, man, people go through such extremes sometimes for this hobby that we have. And I know for Andrew, it's more of a job thing, like you were saying, Chris, like job/pleasure for what he's trying to accomplish. But I just thought it was crazy to like clock that much to try to get these Pokemon. And he said, so at the time, Pokemon had released 246 Pokemon. He had caught 244 of them.
Wow.
So he's got 2 more left. Mewtwo, who he says is exclusive invitation only, I guess you can get it. And another one where I don't even know how to say the name, but it's not going to get to North America till October 31st. So he said that's the last 2 he's got to get, and then he'll have all of them, which is crazy.
But also, Andrew Goldfarb is also the person who bought Persona 5, imported it from Japan, platinumed it in Japanese. Then when he got it in America, it released, he platinumed it there. And I believe he had the first platinum on both versions.
What?
That's crazy.
I think you're right. Yeah. He's loves it. Well,
when he's into something, he's into it. You know what I mean?
I mean, when it's part of your job a little bit, it makes it a little easier to comprehend.
Well, but he's the news editor, so he's not like writing reviews. He's like he's the head over all the news people. So like he just. But what
runs
I'm saying
is, it's not like he's got a 9 to 5 at some call center that's got nothing to do with gaming. At least he's like in this world and.
True, but I just
you guys know who he is.
I just wanted to point out it's not like he got that because he was busy writing the Persona review. Like he's doing that on his own time, kind of thing. You know?
Oh,
right?
Yes,
Yeah. So,
wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Dang, it's insane.
I mean, can you just imagine trying to do all that stuff, like all the Japanese trophies, and just trying to just keep doing it till you figure it out? I don't know what you're saying.
I mean, a lot of Google Translate would be going on for me. What else you got, Christopher?
Well, we've had a lot of kind of heavy topics so far, so let's just lighten it up a little bit with a Star Wars game canceling and Visceral being shut down. How about that?
Hey, all right. Let's just Merry Christmas to us. Let's keep this going.
So Visceral was going to be
the bringer of joy.
Visceral was going to be the one making the Star Wars game that Amy Hennig was writing. So this is the game that Amy Hennig was writing, and EA's just like, nah, they're not pulling the plug on the game. They're just transitioning it over to another studio, another one of the studios, EA Vancouver, I believe, as well as a couple of their other studios are going to help them out with it. And they're changing the direction of it. And there was a little bit of a statement, and I'm just going to say one little bitty part of it. It says, the statement said, in its current form, talking about the Star Wars game, it said, in its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-based linear adventure game. Right away, I'm just going to say, sounds good to me. What's
I know. I was about to say, what the heck?
Yeah, what's wrong
How
with
did
that?
they accidentally make that?
They continue to say, throughout the development process, we have been testing the game concept with players, listening to feedback about what and how they want to play, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. That's a key statement, in my opinion. And then it says, it has become clear that to deliver the experience that players want to come back and enjoy for a long time to come, we need to pivot the design. So basically,
more loot boxes.
What they are saying is we're going to transition this from a linear story-based linear game like an Uncharted or Last of Us or any of those other games that were like that to a games as a service game. Now, I don't have a huge problem with games as a service. I don't even, quite frankly, if we're just gonna be honest, I don't have a huge problem with loot boxes for the most part. There's definitely areas where it's problematic, but as a whole, I'm not at the point where I'm like pitchforks about the loot box stuff. But the thing is that this open world games and then games as a service, and even though I enjoy a handful of them, it's
what
like
is games as a service?
Something like Destiny, where it's a game where you play it, and then it's just gonna keep leaking out, and kind of like, here's another little bit of content, and you can pay and you can keep playing that. It's kind of like MMOs in a sense, or like World of Warcraft, a game where you constantly come back and play it, and maybe you pay like in MMOs standpoint, you would usually pay like a subscription fee to continually play the game. Or on the console side,
season pass kind of a thing.
Yeah, on the console side, well, it's not even so much season pass, because those are usually tied more to like map pack stuff. Not always.
Oh, that's
sometimes
true.
there are like story content related in there, but usually it's games that will have like an expansion where you just keep adding on to the same game and extending the life, and basically finding ways to get people to continually play your game.
Okay,
that's what the industry basically has been going to for a while now, and is kind of reaching ahead, in my opinion, where most of these games, they're building them in ways, and they're putting in microtransactions and all these things to make you continually come back and play this game, because it's becoming less and less viable for these companies to sink the amount of money that they're sinking into games these days to just make a $60, hey, this is 10 hours and then you're gone. You know?
Right.
It makes more sense for them business-wise to continue to have the budgets that they have to make a game where you're going to constantly come back and purchase more content and keep playing that game and stay engaged. And so that's what they're basically saying that they're transitioning this game into. And me, even though I enjoy those types of games to some extent, I feel this is a super bad idea, mainly because people are going to burn out on this. It's going to happen. It's going to come back to the people want to have, oh man, you remember when we just had our linear 10-hour games? And probably by the time this game comes out, because it's still, I mean, if they're already scrapping it and refocusing it, they're basically starting from scratch again, probably to some extent, at least on the design part of it, if not the story part. And so this is probably going to be like a 2020, 2021 game now, when it was originally only going to be 2019, maybe even further than that. It's like, I almost can guarantee that the tides will shift again on what people want. And it's just, I really wish they would have just, with this game in particular, just push it, keep going the way that you're going with it, finish, and then whatever's next, do it however you want to do it. You've got Battlefront, you've got Respawn that's over here going to make a Star Wars game of some extent. It's probably going to be a games as a service type game or multiplayer in some way or another, because that's their MO. Yeah. It's like you already have 2 games like this. Why can we not have this story-based linear game?
Doesn't that lead to maybe they never had a solid direction for this game in the first place, and they're just like, okay, well, this clearly isn't going the way that we think it's going, and so we're shifting gears.
Yeah,
maybe they just never had a solid plan, because I mean, a lot of these games take 3 to 4 years anyway. Tons of different trends can happen between 4 years in a 4-year span.
I mean, yes.
I mean, you have to have some sort of direction, and you have to have
all
some.
Of that is all of that is possible. Yes, and the gameplay, the design part of the actual gameplay always is going to be, in flux a little, and things are going to be changing and tweaked and everything. But the thing is that this was going to be the Star Wars game that was being written by Amy Hennig. And now, honestly, I've read a couple of different articles now. Like, I don't even know what the deal is with her. Like, are they just like severing ties with her? Is she still part of this project? I don't even know that for sure, because I've not found any information about it. But like, she writes stories. And so I guarantee you this had an outline and had a story that was, she may still been fleshing it all out, but she had an overall, like, this is the story I want to tell. I can't fathom that she didn't have that in mind. You know what I mean? This is the opportunity of a lifetime that she's getting to write a canon Star Wars narrative story.
Right.
And I can't remember the exact time frame, but did I read that they had already been working on this game with like 2.5 years, 3.5 years?
Yeah, this game has been in development. Like, this was not like something they've only been working on a year. So it's been in development for a while. It was slated to come out 2019. So it was going to be a long development already anyways.
So, I mean, that's just going to, almost double their budget for whatever game eventually comes out.
Yeah. And I just...
Yeah.
It's just, it really bums me out, because we had the whole Star Wars 1313 that was going to be this, you got all these little bits and pieces of what that was potentially going to be, and then it got squashed. And this just feels kind of like that again. But I feel like in some way, I was even more attached to this because I'm a fan of Amy's previous work. And it bums me out.
Right.
And maybe she's still involved. Maybe she's still going to have a big, huge part in it. And all this is for naught. But it just really bums me out that they're so enthralled in this whole, we've got to have a game that constantly brings people back over and over and over. And it just makes me feel like the next couple years, linear games are just going to kind of go by the wayside. And then eventually they're just going to come back. Everything that goes away comes back. The games industry is just like everywhere else in pop culture and everywhere else. Everything is cyclical. It's going to come back around in popularity. Look at all these 8-bit games and retro styled games that have been coming out. It's all going to come back. It's like, I wish they would have just kept going with it.
Well, and wasn't that everyone's big complaint about Battlefront was that there was no single player campaign and they put one in the second one. So
that's where you kind of have, it could be one of two things. They could be doing something more similar to Battlefront, but that doesn't make sense because you've got Battlefront. Why would you just do another version of Battlefront, but it's not Battlefront? And the thought is that maybe it'll be something more akin to like a Destiny, but in a Star Wars universe. And that could be cool, but I feel like this was going to be cool too. It's a huge bummer. It really is.
That is a bummer.
And I just like with some of the other stuff that's come out, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes from here. I'm sure we're not going to hear anything else about it for a good while because, I mean, if you're shifting gears this hard, it feels like they're probably basically starting from scratch. I mean, they're probably keeping the base of their code and everything and all their engine and all that optimization. If it was there, they're probably keeping that, but I have a feeling they're going to just change almost everything else. So who knows?
I just don't think they had any direction, nor it may not be that I don't think they just had a solid plan. They were just trying to get on as quickly as possible to get on it and start the process. And as they went through the process, they realized that they're kind of off the mark.
But when you listen to these comments from their statement, it makes it sound more like not that things weren't shaping up. It was more like, oh, we need it to be this, and it is not this. They're throwing in this whole like, we got feedback about how players want to play, and I'm calling BS on that. I don't think that's what it was at all. I think it's more about like, we know people like games some people like games as a service. They're making us money. We need to make this one of those too because we need to make more money. And I'm not anti companies making money. I'm really not. I have no problem with
that. It's gonna be Star Wars Battle Royale.
It absolutely could be. I mean, that's going to be the biggest trend in the next couple of years is going to be everybody doing a battle royale mode. And it would probably be awesome. But man, I wanted to see what this was going to be so bad.
Yeah. I would have loved to got a story for sure. So I thought this was interesting. There's a new gamepad coming out for the PS4.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hori, which is an accessory maker, has teamed up with Sony to make the mini wired gamepad. And so it's like for smaller hands, for kids. And I actually don't mind the way it looks. It almost looks like a Joy-Con to me. It's like that shape of one half of a Joy-Con with the bumpers on it. And so it's 40% smaller than the standard DualShock 4. It won't have the touch pad, but it does have a button there. So if you play in a game that needs you to press the touchpad, you have that. But it said that certain touchpad inputs can be simulated via the left or right sticks, which is weird. It doesn't have a light bar. It doesn't have a headset jack or a speaker or vibration or motion control. And it's got a wire. So, you know, you're losing
a lot. 1998?
Yeah. The wire is 10 feet long, so they're trying to, still let you sit on your couch.
It's 100 feet long.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow.
It's coming out this holiday season. It'll be $30. And, it's all right. I thought it was just an interesting thing to do. We've gone through so many big, honky, awful, controllers. So it's just interesting that Sony felt like they needed to make a smaller controller for children.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's cute. It's blue. It's cute and blue. Got a 10 foot long wire all there. So
that's hilarious.
We'll see. It's taking a lot away, but I was like, in my head though, I was kind of like, I could throw that in my backpack and have a controller for my laptop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, it could be, dual purpose in that way. But I just thought it was like, I would have loved to have been in that meeting and like what information they're getting that says that they really need to do this.
If you're going to make something for kids, I always recommend put a 10-foot long wire on it.
Exactly.
Like a leash.
Yeah.
Like a kitty leash.
Lord have mercy. I just thought that was really random. I was like,
yeah.
Huh. What else you got, Chris?
So it looks like Sony.
Something happy, please.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those kind of things. It looks like that Sony is coming out with a new publishing label, and they're going to be making games that are not just for PlayStation. And in fact, it's not even tied to PlayStation in the name of this company, but they're going to be making games for their own consoles, for PC, and the Nintendo Switch.
Huh. Ooh.
And the weird thing is that it's actually being operated under Sony Music Entertainment, but the company, or the label, if you will, is called Unties. It's either Unties or it's Untees, which sounds like undies. So I'm going to say Unties.
Yeah, I really hope it's Unties.
I hope it is.
It's UNTIES. But their first game is set to come out on November 21st. It's called Tiny Metal, and it's an Advanced Wars style tactics game, and it's going to launch on the PC, PlayStation 4, and the Switch. And I was like,
interesting.
It was really interesting to me. Tiny Metal. There's actually a trailer out for it. I think they had this trailer debuted at PAX West originally. But
interesting.
It was like, what do you know? Sony making Switch games. What do you?
Yeah.
What kind of crazy world we live in these days?
Sony's like, hey, Xbox, have fun with your crossplay over there.
That's really interesting.
Wow.
The Nintendo Switch got an update that adds video capture,
really?
which is a weird thing that it hasn't had. And
I was just gonna say, hey, your watch tells time now.
Exactly. And also the ability to transfer user profiles and save data from an old console to a new console, which was something that people were complaining about out the gate. Like, I can't put this on, I guess, my second Switch. I have no idea. But people were upset about that. So here's the weird thing, though. Because it's Nintendo.
There's only 4 of them.
There's only 4 of them. It's only compatible with 4 games right now. The video capture feature. Why?
So is it not system wide? It's built into the game, not the system?
It's built into the system, but only supports 4 games so far.
Okay. Are they Nintendo games at least? That might kind of make sense.
Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
Parappa the Rapper.
Mario
in Siberia.
Yeah, exactly. Mario Kart 8, ARMS, and Splatoon 2.
Okay, so at least they're all Nintendo
modern
games. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but 4 games? Like, why not just have it capture games?
Well, no, I mean, I agree, but you can at least point to it and say like, oh, well, they're wanting to make sure this functionality works with Nintendo games and cash it all out before they just open it up to developers. There could be a case made that way. That at least makes a little bit of sense in that you can see where they're coming from. But
it only makes sense because it's Nintendo.
Well, yeah. I mean, and are there more than 4 Nintendo-made games on the system right now? I don't even know. I mean, I know Mario's coming out, and I know this is going to... I'm just saying, because I know there's a ton of indies that are on it right now, so I don't know how many games are actually made by Nintendo that are on the Switch right now.
Yeah, it was just an interesting... That would be, though, interesting if they were like, you can video capture only Nintendo properties. That's it. You know, at the end of the day, if the list grows to only Nintendo games, it would just be real interesting to me.
Well, so here's the next question. Like, okay, you capture it. Now what do you do? How do you get it off there? Do you just save it to the little memory card and you can
It can be shared on Facebook and Twitter.
Starting in 2021.
Okay.
Exactly. So I don't know. You know, but I'm glad that they're opening it up. And, you know, they're trying to get with the program here, even though they're late, getting with the program. And, you know, you got to remember, too, I don't know how many people, I'd imagine most people have gone out and bought extra memory, but it's not like the thing comes with a whopping amount of memory. So,
right.
I don't know for people that stream and stuff like that, they're obviously just going through the HDMI. and doing it that way. So maybe this makes it slightly easier, but it just doesn't say anything about YouTube or Twitch. And so that's just weird to me that you would, create clips just for Facebook and Twitter. But
well, it is, but
just
also if you think about it, I mean, to be fair, when the PlayStation 4 first started doing clips as well, it was only to Facebook, and then it was to Facebook and Twitter, and then they brought in YouTube. I mean, it slowly came out, the services as well. It wasn't like...
Really?
And they had Ustream in the beginning, if you remember that. You could stream the Ustream.
Yeah, I do remember that, but don't you think go ahead and catch up?
Well, no, I mean, again, I'm on the side of like, why not? But if you want to give them the same thing, it's like, well, Sony and Microsoft were the same way. They didn't come out the gate with, bam, we got all this. They trickled it out. So maybe, I don't know.
Maybe they're doing the same thing.
Maybe they're doing the same
years
thing.
later.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just ready for Switch 2 that has Bluetooth so I can have headphones. Then I might get one.
This one has Bluetooth, They just haven't unlocked it to,
You just can't use it.
Yeah, because
it's only good for one other game.
I'm pretty sure that's what the controllers use, is like some form of Bluetooth. I forget exactly what letter or number they use, but it's like Bluetooth.
Yeah,
something.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but
so
I guess
they'll
I
come
just
out with
wanted
a
to have
Bluetooth
Bluetooth headphones. Yeah,
That's
I'd
coming in
imagine.
2025.
Exactly. But same thing to your argument. It's not like you could just pair any Bluetooth headset to your PS4 either. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they'll probably come out with a proprietary. I'm pretty sure you can't. I tried
could
it
on my PS3.
Maybe
So
nowadays.
I haven't tried on my PS4, but I could on my PS3.
When my Golds first broke,
Yeah.
and I had 4 Bluetooth headsets sitting around, I couldn't pair any of those things to the PlayStation.
Really? Now you got me wanting to try it. I'm gonna go try it.
And even the Golds needed a dongle
Oh, the dongle.
That's true.
that I kept losing.
Elusive dongle.
Exactly. What else, Chris?
The last thing that I have is Bungie had to pull one of their emotes from the game.
Yeah.
Now, not the people who already had it can still have it, but they pulled it to where you can't actually purchase it, or it can't become a random drop anymore. And the reason is because you were able to get through the walls in PvP maps, and then in the tower and in other PvE areas.
Yeah, that was so weird.
And
I saw the story and never saw a video clip of anybody doing it, though.
Oh, you didn't? There's some video clips out there I saw. The emote in question was, it was called Bureaucratic Walk. And it was basically inspired and like a spoof off of Monty Python's Ministry of Silly Walks.
Oh, yeah.
So you basically would get up next to a wall, you would start doing this goofy walk, and next thing you know, you're going through the wall, and then you're just walking around behind the map where you're not supposed to be.
Exactly.
It was kind of funny,
That's funny.
And the crazy thing is, I was in a PvP match the other day, and there was a guy who was using this walk, and I just thought he was doing it because people are always dancing and doing crazy stuff all over the place. But now I'm thinking, man, was he trying to get outside the map and cheat?
Right.
And now I want to go. I wish I would have saved that clip or something.
That's funny. Speaking of saving the clip, going back to the Nintendo thing, does the PlayStation, how far back when you hit save that video clip?
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The Nintendo's is 30 seconds. But,
What?
Wow.
Well, did
so
they
don't
ever
do a whole match.
So I remember when Xbox first came out and they had the whole Xbox record that. Their clip save was only 5 minutes, but I believe they increased it. Does anybody know if they're at 15 or more minutes?
I want to say it's at least 15, yeah, and you can have it set to what it is, but that sounds right.
Yeah, I knew they increased it. I just didn't know to what.
Yeah. So when you hit that button on the Nintendo, I hope you just did something dope.
I know, right?
Because 30 seconds is not long. Okay, I'm going to need a little help on this last story. And I only bring this up just because, I don't know, it rubs me kind of the wrong way, but I understand it, but I don't want to understand it. But have you guys seen this whole Activision getting that patent for leveraging in-app purchases?
Yes.
So the story's actually in Rolling Stone, which I thought was really interesting. But Activision has been awarded a patent that they tried to get back. They filed back in 2015, but was just granted, which kind of helps them push people to get microtransactions. And this is where it gets a little ugly to me. It's describing the fact that, so what they'll do is in a game that's got in-app purchases, they'll purposely put you in multiplayer matches with people that are better than you to encourage you to want to buy what they have. And then so that sucks. But then once you buy the thing, then they'll put you in a match that has you being the top dog so that you can immediately feel your purchase.
Really?
And then dip you back to the other thing, I don't know how long later, to make you want to push to get the thing again.
Come on.
And so, I mean, right? I don't know. The problem is it's a huge industry for them. I didn't know this, but like in 2016, Activision Blizzard, off just in-game sales, made $3.6 billion with a B dollars.
Wow.
Off in-game sales.
Yeah, them and EA are making crazy money off of microtransactions and expansion passes and map packs and all that stuff.
And that's why it rubs me the wrong way, Chris, because so in 2015 they made 1.6 billion. In 2016 they made 3.6. It feels like just the in-game sales are working, and so it makes me feel like extra dirty about it, because it's like, oh, we see this money coming in, let's even push it even more. And like something about that bugs the crap out of me, that you would put me in a matchmaking game on purpose with people that are OP from me to want to put the thought in my head like, ooh, I need to buy that too, and then put me in a match where I'm OP to other people.
Yeah, that just seems like straight up obviously greedy.
I mean, right?
Unless they're doing it so no one else can do it, and they're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, that happens, but not usually internally.
Right.
They did
GM's going to buy the water-powered engine so they can go ahead and shut that down.
Right.
Yeah, so they, as you might imagine, this information comes to light that they have patented this algorithm that has the abilities to do these different things. And there's even, when you look inside of the patent, there's the diagram that basically shows how this algorithm will achieve these things, in essence.
Wow.
And they came out and said, like, look, this was just, companies, we create stuff and we come up with ideas and we throw them at the patent office all the time. And it's more about just seeing what they'll cover. And then, we haven't done anything with this. We don't even know that we're ever going to do anything with this. It was just a thing. We had this idea and we threw it out there at the patent office, and they just happened to just now approve it. And so Bungie came out and made a statement saying that, I think it was Bungie that said that, made the statement, but they said that, look, this stuff that you're seeing right here, none of this stuff is implemented inside of Destiny 2. And then, so a lot of people don't like microtransactions, and like the whole loot box stuff is a big to do right now nowadays. Yeah, I really don't mind a lot of that stuff. This does feel particularly nefarious. Now, granted, Activision's got a reputation for kind of doing some shady stuff to make money. So, I mean, it's not like a big, like, oh my gosh, but Activision, our gaming savior, it makes sense in that sense that this is who it would be coming from.
I know, but it feels a little like, let me just read this real quick. This is from them. This is what they're saying.
Yes.
In a particular example, the junior player may wish to become an expert sniper in a game. The microtransaction engine may match the junior player with a player that is a highly skilled sniper in the game. In this manner, the junior player may be encouraged to make game-related purchases, such as a rifle or other items used by the marquee player. Now, just stop there real quick. May be encouraged is the thing that worries me. So if I'm playing a match, I'm getting destroyed and I'm a little frustrated, I'm just not hoping they mean like now an ad will pop up like, hey, if you really want to get down. It means. I hope it doesn't, but it just says the junior player may be encouraged. I don't know if they mean internally or externally. So continuing, doing so, buying the thing, may enhance a level of enjoyment by the player for the game-related purchase, which may encourage future purchases. That makes sense. For example, if the player purchases a particular weapon, the microtransaction engine may match the player in a gameplay session in which the particular weapon is highly effective, giving the player an impression that the particular weapon was a good purchase. This may encourage the player to make future purchases to achieve similar gameplay results. That sounds awful to me.
Yeah, and the other thing
I understand
that
casinos do it around the world. Like, there's a reason that they're circular. There's a reason you can't ever find the exit. There's a reason they're continuing to give you drinks because they want you to spend your money in the casino.
Right.
I get that this happens, but it's just like seeing it written out and being a consumer of this product is just like, ugh, gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing to think about is that, which granted, to be frank, I haven't played multiplayer on Call of Duty in probably the last 2 to 3 versions. But of the Call of Duties I was playing before then, you were not able to purchase weapons. The only thing you purchased basically was map packs and in-game like skins or customization kind of things like that. The only time I can recall, again, from the ones that I had played where you got a weapon there was this gun called the Peacekeeper, and it was tied to a map pack essentially. And anybody who didn't have that map pack, I don't think they ever were able to get that gun. Now, the gun wasn't OP necessarily, but it was a pretty decent gun. That was the first time I remember seeing that happen. But the last time I played Call of Duty multiplayer, you could buy things to earn more XP. You could buy things to like put different colored camos on your gun or customization type stuff, but you could never buy weapons. So part of it seems like this is exploratory and like conceptual and all that kinds of stuff. But at the same time, it's like, but if it's there in writing, there's a precedent now. It's like this can now become reality. The one thing that I will say is that with this being out there and the fact that so many people are so like irritated just at the moment with like microtransactions and loot boxes and all this like that, I find it really hard that Activision could implement a system like this and people not realize that this is what this is and them not catch so much flack and it blow up in their face. That's what I will say. That's the like positive in my head that I'm like, they can't actually do this because people aren't going to stand for that. Now, maybe that will be like, if they ease it in slowly, maybe people will just be fine with it. But at this moment right now, I feel like there's no way they could do this and it go positively for them. There's no way.
It's almost like when you're playing being like, man, it feels like they've got this really nasty, horrible secret plan. And then to see the secret plan written out, it's like, oh, poop. They have a secret, nasty, horrible plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh, man. It just rubbed me so the wrong way. And because it kills, in my soul, it kills wanting to play multiplayer games in any Activision game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then it sucks too because the patent further goes on to say that the patent, yes, they're using examples for first-person shooters, but that the system could be used across a wide variety of titles. Yeah. And so you're like, geez, I don't want to be playing, and I don't know who else publishes whatever, but I don't want Madden to be that and FIFA to be that and Rocket League to be that. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying those are all Activision games, but like you just don't want to know that if I don't pay anything, it's the whole pay to play thing. So people in our clan on Clash of Clans, a lot of times if they're losing a lot, they blow up about how, it's because I haven't put any money in this game and that's why I'm losing and stuff like that. It's a loot box system. You can't buy the thing that'll make you better at it always. You can buy certain cards, and so you could spend money to get the in-game currency and then buy the thing. But it's not as direct as, man, this guy in Destiny's got the icebreaker and his sniper rifle keeps getting reloaded, so I'm gonna just buy the icebreaker too, and then them put me in a game where other people ain't got the icebreaker, so it looks like I'm a baller.
Right.
I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Anyway, Chris, you got anything else?
No, I'm out.
Sorry. I know that was a long-winded, but I was like, I got to get this one out just because it felt like...
it's all right, man.
It feels like you want to educate the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, Ed.
Deep breaths, everybody.
We've done a lot of talking.
That's all right.
What you got?
Over on the YouTubes, new this week, we've got the Turing Test. Chapter 1 and 2 is up there, so you can take a look. And again, it's free on Xbox. If you've got games with gold, go ahead and snag that. And it's definitely worth your time. Looking at our top 10 YouTube videos, combining the average watch time and views for the week of October 11th through the 17th. Number 10, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Whoa, we got back on there, Chris.
Look at that. Welcome back, everybody.
There we go.
Yeah, falling prey to Hugh.
Right. Speaking of which, number 9, Hue Part 5, Red.
Yeah, I knew that was going.
Number 8, Watch Dogs 2 Part 19, Paint Job. Number 7, Watch Dogs 2 Part 48, Ghost Signals. Number 6, Hue Part 8, Green. Number 5, Hue Part 7, Yellow. Number 4, Hue Part 4, Pink.
Wow.
Number 3, Hue Part 9, Mountains.
Oh, wow.
Number 2, Hue Part 10, University. And number 1, Hue Part 11, The Ending.
Thornfield's well. Oh.
More people looking for an answer to a problem that's no longer there. So sorry, everyone, that we were so on the ball with Hue and got out before it was updated.
Yeah, back then.
Right?
That is funny.
There you go.
Just remove the videos and watch them freak out.
I know, right?
What the heck? What am I supposed to do?
Well, I don't understand.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you, what's your guilty pleasure in gaming? The type of game you don't usually play but secretly love. Starting over on Discord, Bad Gamer Elite, hashtag MTTG Historian.
Yes, sir.
Guilty pleasure, secrets. We ain't got no secrets. We are fam McCree. We are fam McCree.
Nice.
Giving it to you,
like
Chris. But I haven't played I haven't played my dance games in months. I bought that just sing game too, playing Stare at It in the rapping.
Nice.
All right.
I know that's right. MLS Chop, present day, I don't think I have any guilty pleasure games, but back in the day, NES era, we only got 1 or 2 new games per year, and some of those had to appease my little sister. So I played more Little Mermaid and Barbie NES games than I care to admit.
That's awesome.
The true guilty pleasure, though, was taking that tough NES/SNES game you couldn't beat, pop on a Game Genie, and take that sucker down with the ease of infinite lives or invulnerability. I know that's right. Vetstone, guilty pleasure. I'm 34 with 3 kids, soon to be 4. I ain't got that time for guilty pleasures. I enjoy good games, so I'll go with games that are unpopular with our host/community. I enjoy building simulation and tycoon games as much as any genre out there. Yes, that means I play Minecraft. I find the vanilla version a tad bit lacking, so I understand your views, but the modded scene really adds some wonderful challenges and enjoyment, which I have come to love. Gabe, since you enjoy tycoon-like games, I challenge you to look at Factorio sometime. I find a good unique look at how tycoon games could be played. Factorio. Nice. If you would have said Minecraft, you know what that answer was going to be.
Factorio, no.
Over on Facebook, Herman Scott, guilty pleasure gaming for me is arcade racing style games. Burnout and Need for Speed series are what come to mind.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's right. Chris Harris, coming out of Knox Vegas and Chattanooga, guilty pleasure, huh? I'm going to go with tactical RPGs, i.e. Final Fantasy Tactics, XCOM, Valkyrie Chronicles were my favorites. I spent hours playing those types of strategy RPG games, but they're not always top choice to get due to the massive time sink they can be. Keep up the good work, fellas.
Oh, cool.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Corey Ray Swope. Sorry, what were you going to say, Chris?
I just said you're welcome. I was like, oh, wait, not me.
Oh, there you go. Corey Ray Swope. The mailman on the Facebook says the guilty gaming the guilty game for me is civilization games. I can spend hours creating my empire and then destroying everyone else's.
Oh, yes.
I'm just putting that voice on him.
I like it, though.
Over on the forum, Robert Darrell Good Jr., you guys already know Viva Pinata, Trouble in Paradise, but also anything involving the Kinect. The ones I like, I really get into, and I know I look like a nut playing them.
Nice. You're supposed to.
Is it okay that I kind of missed the Kinect a little bit?
Yeah, it's okay.
Fine. You can admit that.
All right. Spam humbug. Hello from Ireland, which just saw Tropical Storm Ophelia whip through.
Oh, that's right.
And is now bracing for Storm Brian to make landfall.
Freaking Brian.
So we've gone through we've gone all the way through the alphabet and back through, huh?
Mm-hmm.
To the question, platformers. I'm an RPG player first and always, but every so often it's fun to do the run and jump thing.
Nice.
I know that's right. That makes sense. Over on Twitter, Mr. Ham at MTTG Brazil team.
What? I love that he
Which
did
of
that.
course
I love
stands
that.
for Street Team.
Obrigado.
He said the God of War series, it's so extremely violent and inappropriate, but the game plays great. Also, the Stick of Truth, so funny, but
Yes,
so
sir.
bad.
Yes.
So wrong.
Yep.
Yet so right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Matthew Dronberger at UFO Burger.
Careful.
UFO Burger. We'll go with that.
What's his name and where is he from?
He said look at it in the box. That's his guilty pleasure. I know that's right. That's my guilty pleasure too. Every time I go into a GameStop, I still kind of pick up the box and flip it around. I don't know why. But just it's an old habit. Old habits die hard. Gerald Schneider II at Ho Schno.
Burger.
Yep. Mine would be Star Trek Online. Not sure why, but I enjoy the game. Not sure why. I love when you don't know why you like something.
I know.
Star
'Cause
Wars
that just makes me say
Online.
not sure why either.
I enjoy the game.
That is really funny. Thank you guys so much for answering the question of the week.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate it.
That's awesome.
You know where to find us. Facebook.com/married to the games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast.
Tell them.
Like Ed said, YouTube.com/married to the games. Now on Patreon at patreon.com/MTTG. And sign up for our Extra Life team at extralife.org.
Yeah, Extra Life, baby.
/MTTG. I hope that's right. I'm saying it off the top of my head. I'm not sure if that's exactly right.
Team/MTTG.
Is that what it is? /team/MTTG.
Just
Go
search
to
for Married to the Games.
extralife.org and search for Married to the Games. Exactly right.
There you go.
Exactly. All right. Router.
Rate us on iTunes so we can all have working toilets in our hotel rooms.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
I like it. Well, let's get into some questions.
Start with email. You can always email us at mailbag@marriedtothegames.com. Rainflow. I was playing through Bloodborne for, I lost count on how many times I've been playing this game, but I came across this area where it looked like there were so many decaying bodies of hodgepodge of creatures that it basically created a small swamp wherein everything is sticky and disgusting. So I thought, this place must smell so bad. So my question is, what do you guys think is the stinkiest area in the gaming worlds?
Ooh,
that sounds about it.
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much any place where there's like zombies or just tons of death has got to smell
it's gotta
just
stink.
bad.
I would say, don't you go to a basement in Resident Evil 7?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I only played the
In
demo.
those crazy people's house? I would say it probably smells bad down there.
Yeah, because weren't they eating like crazy food as well?
I mean, they was doing
Was
a
it
lot of
food?
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any horror game probably does not smell.
Yeah, it does not smell like a bed of roses.
The whole
I'm
game
thinking-
of Outlast.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm thinking in Tomb Raider, is it? I can't remember if it's Rise or if it's the original one where she's like in that river covered in blood. It's like that can't smell
Yes,
very good
that's
either.
right. Where they did
That
like
can't
the
smell good at all.
sacrifices down there and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's some nastiness. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Chris, you have one?
Gross.
No, I mean, not in particular. I mean, I think The Last of Us, but then I also think Bloodborne, and then I think you brought up the Resident Evil 7. I was like, yeah, it did seem kind of creepy there. And I mean, even a basketball game, the gym room, the locker room can't smell great.
The locker room.
There's a lot of bad play. Mortal Kombat, that's got to smell horrible.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Oh, that can't smell good.
Yeah, I've never been in a creepy place that smell good.
Yeah,
Nah.
it's true.
Nope.
Ed, you say one?
Yeah, any horror game is probably not good.
Yes, smelly.
Yep, there you go. Let's move on to let's move on to Discord. Arctic Warlocks. All right, it's been a long time that we had an at T Router early morning stream going way back to the Witcher DLC. When can we expect the revival of greatness on YouTube since you are semi-settled in your new house?
Yeah.
Hashtag morning crew. Hashtag I know, not South Park. Hashtag let us know, please. Man, to be perfectly honest, I don't know. I feel like where the room is right now, once Piper starts sleeping in here, my voice still could travel, so I'm a little worried about that. But
you would talk so quiet on those things. It was like watching Bob Ross play a game.
Exactly. And then, we have a happy little alien right here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to shoot him in the
I will
head
say
real
with
quick.
the new Steel Series headphones, it's got a little pull-out mic, so definitely it'll sound a lot better. But like right now, I'm just still a little unsettled, and I just want to kind of play a game and not worry about having to record a screw up and having to start over. Like I feel like sometimes when you stream like that, you feel like you have to be on. And like right now, just where I'm at, like I'm just not on. But I mean, we've got Extra Life coming up soon, and
Hashtag abandoned.
Abandoned. No,
and the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Little boy blowing the man and
your
the moon.
Your father can't be with you anymore, Bambi. But no, it's just one of the. I'm just going through a funk, man. I just haven't been able to do it. I think I want to do Assassin's Creed, but I think one of you guys wants to do it as well. And like Ed, you're always on there and you're crushing it, and I'm just letting you have fun with it. And it's like, do you really want to watch me play a game and suck at it?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
maybe they do. But
Look, I'll tell you
I
this.
just like Cuphead.
Yeah.
that's true. That is true. I'm just in a funk. I just haven't been able to put it
Get
together like
out
I
the
was going
funk.
to do. I was going to do
Get out
Shadow
that
of War,
funk.
but they're just like, you guys would be bored out of your minds right now just with killing these captains and stuff. But I don't know.
No, they would
I'll
love
get
it.
there.
Get
Don't
there
worry.
and do it. You know what? It's going to be just like last time. You were like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then you start doing it.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
bam, I love this. It's going to be the
I mean,
same
that's
way
why-
again.
That's why they're asking about it. They
Trust
want
me.
you to.
I know.
They
I know.
liked you and you were muffled back then. Now you're going to have the sexy Steel Series
now I'm
voice.
going to be crystal
Right?
clear muffled.
So it can only go up from here.
That's right. Be Tim Ross, not Bob Ross.
There you go. Rick Ross.
Oh,
Boss.
boss. Rose. Anyway, yes, my morning crew. I will get there. It'll happen. I'm sorry, and thanks for thinking of me, though. I appreciate it. Cat Jack, gaming or bacon? Go.
Oh, that was hard.
Honestly, that's a really tough question.
I was going to knee-jerk bacon, and then I was like, wait a minute, the games.
gaming or bacon.
Does that mean you can only have one for the rest of forever?
There is no specified time frame, so it can be for 1 split second if you like.
You know what? I'm going to have to go gaming because I'm married to the games. I'm not married to bacon.
Can we eat bacon while gaming?
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's
not the
Let's
question
just
that he
merge.
posed to us, my friend.
Get your controller all greasy, man.
Nah, man. Use a paper towel. Come on, let's be clean. Let's be clean about this. I don't need no greasy controllers.
Nah.
Either one, man. Either
That's
one is
tough.
fantastic. I'll take it. That's a good one. Kabowski, morning crew. Going with the picture that you posted, who is your favorite South Park character? Cartman.
Really?
Yeah, he's just awesome.
Oh.
Mr. Hanky. I like his song.
That's awesome.
Put me in your mouth and try to say. Yum, yum, yum.
That's funny.
That's good.
Eduardo?
I miss Chef.
That's what I was going to say. Mine's got to be
R.I.P.
Chef.
Yeah.
Gotta be Chef.
Hello, children.
Hello, children.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
I want to sing a song for you.
so awesome.
I couldn't
Pretty
think of a
much.
song I could sing on here.
Well, that was Fat Albert. I was just trying to do
I was
it.
gonna
As,
say.
Yeah, it's all good.
let it be Chef.
Drugs are bad. Okay. Yeah, I love it. Anyway, good question. Facebook, Robert Darrell Good Jr. It's karaoke night. You have to sing the first song in your playlist. How screwed are you?
In my playlist, what playlist?
What playlist?
Yeah.
It does. So basically, it sounds like whatever you've last been listening to in your playlist, you have to sing that song on karaoke night. So what is that song?
I'm in trouble. I have to. Oh gosh.
Wow.
I don't have a personal playlist. What I do is usually I go on
just mix it
Spotify
up.
and I listen to the charts and like what's going on. So a lot of
Me
times
too.
I don't know those songs. So the song that's been at the top of the United States charts on Spotify lately is Rockstar by Post Malone and 21 Savage, and I'd be very screwed.
Yep.
I do not know that song. Unless it's like Moana or Trolls right now.
Exactly.
Really, I should say Moana because we've been listening to it so much because of the kids, and I know all them songs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Heck
I've
yeah.
been staring at the edge of the water.
It's a good soundtrack.
I can remember.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, exactly. I got that.
And
Right.
thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Chris?
What do you got, Chris?
The last song that I played from a playlist was from my karaoke playlist, and it was Beck Loser, and I know all the words, so
good
I'd be in a good
song.
spot
Oh,
for that one.
nice.
Good song.
There you go. There you go. Ed?
I mean, the last song I played from mine was it was from the jazz station, and so I'll just pretend I'm playing the sax.
You're gonna
all
scat
night
for us?
long.
Is that what you're gonna do there?
I could air saxophone like
yeah,
a beast.
Ed's going to be in the corner like bra-da-da-da-da-da-da-ba-da-da-da-ba. Freaking instrumental
is-
of Careless Whisper.
Right.
That is amazing.
Tim, what about you?
So we have like a Piper's Party mix that we put together, and it's just like a bunch of just songs that she loves to listen to. And the previous one, I believe, what did we listen to? Was Sorry Not Sorry by Demi Lovato.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, nice.
That's hilarious.
Which I actually really like that song, and that girl can sing.
Yeah, she's
But
ridiculous.
yeah, she's ridiculous.
Feeling like a 10, are you?
Yeah, right. So there you go. Yep, that's me.
I like it.
Nice.
Oh, good question. All right, here we go. All right, you ready for this? Here's the spelling of the name first, and then I'll try to pronounce it. So the spelling, Przemek.
Mike.
Those aren't
Last-
supposed to go next to each other.
I know. Last name, Ciesielski. So, all right, forgive me. Przemek Sisilski?
Yep.
Nailed it.
Sounds right to me.
That's correct.
Nailed it. All right, here we go.
Nailed it.
You're in the woods.
Offended.
Exactly. I'm so sorry. You're in the woods. You have booze, beers, and wine. Before you go to sleep, you need to put
What's the difference
out...
between booze and beer?
Is
I have no
booze
idea.
like hard liquor?
Yeah, booze is more like, whiskey
Probably,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and
the
then
hard
beer,
stuff.
and then you
Okay.
got wine.
All right, so this is kind of like a survival question.
Okay.
You're in the woods. You have booze, beers, and wine. Before you go to sleep, you need to put out the campfire. What do? You got no water.
Throw dirt on it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Bingo.
I was going to say urinate on it.
Or do that. You could do that too.
But it depends
If
on
you've
how
been
much
drinking-
of the booze you drank. It might just go.
Well, that's
Like,
very true. Yeah.
You never
but-
know.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ed. Throw dirt on it.
I mean, I don't drink really much, but if we have booze, beer, and wine, someone spent some money, and I'm not going to just throw it all away like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't want to make
I'm
anyone
thinking if
mad.
I've been drinking booze, beer, and wine, do I notice I need to put the fire out?
I know. Exactly.
Is there even a campfire?
Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling warm inside, apparently.
And why are there two of them now? Yeah, exactly.
Which one do I put out first?
Which one, yo?
That's hilarious.
Okay, so Przemek, if I screwed up your name, please just let me know. Give me some phonetic.
Yeah, we need some phonics up in this piece.
Yeah, we need some hooked on Whooked on Pahonics on this place. So let me know
Whooked.
what's going on.
On Pahonics.
Exactly. All right, moving on to Twitter. Brett T. Bodden. I'm a huge jazz fan, Utah Jazz fan. Excited for the. I knew that. Excited for the new season. Was sad to see G. Hayward go down last night. Oh man, yeah, he went down hard. What is the worst injury you've had?
Oh, the tile saw. I mean, the table saw.
Oh yeah, it has to be yours. Yeah,
for sure. And that was not that long ago.
Right.
Finger still tingles a little bit.
Ooh.
Chris? Skateboarding something?
Well, yeah, I did fracture my wrist skateboarding. So like sports related, if you want to call that sports related, then that's probably it.
It could just be
but
worst injury.
My worst injury and is probably when I broke my toe, only because it still like bothers me occasionally, and the nail grows and then falls off and then grows and then falls off. And
oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
When it gets cold, you're like, oh, this doggone toe.
This toe.
Toe always acting up in the cold.
Oh my gosh, wait, the storms are brewing. I feel it in my toe.
Right. It's going to rain soon.
That's awesome.
Ed?
I sprained my ankle when I was probably around 10 or so, and that's the worst injury I've had.
What?
That's it?
All the life you've lived, a sprained ankle.
I know, right?
That's good. Hey, that's some good living right there.
Right? Careful living.
Exactly. Like insurance careful living. That's right. Basically. Like along came Polly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the new bubble boy.
You are the new bubble boy. Congratulations.
Tim?
I fractured my arm in a bike accident going downhill at Percy Warner Park.
Ooh.
Oh, like as a grown person?
Oh, yeah. As in like, I want to say 10 years ago.
Wow.
Like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Went right over the handlebars, like totally had road rash on the back of my my back and everything, and took myself to the emergency room.
Oh, jeez.
Man.
That's no fun.
Nope, not at all. Oh, and the funny part was, like, I come back home, and Lauren was working at the time, and I called her, and she didn't believe me that I broke my arm, and she was actually mad. She's like, seriously, you didn't break your arm, right? And then she sees me. She walks into the house and sees me with me in a cast. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst wife ever.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, thanks, Florence Nightingale, for all the compassion. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, I wish I got that. That sounds funny. I don't know what that means. I have to Google Florence Nightingale.
Yeah, do that.
Go for it.
Not Florence and the Machine. That's a different thing.
Not Florence and the Machine.
Not Florence Henderson.
Not Florence Henderson either. All right, while you're Googling that, Mr. Ham, top of the evening. I just got my 100th plat, courtesy of Uncharted 4.
Wow. 100.
That is amazing. What do you gents think is the most impressive video gaming milestones? That pretty much sums it up for me right there. 100th plat. Dude, that's amazing.
That's pretty far up there.
Some dude flying around on his jet collecting Pokemons.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's true.
Seriously. I think
exactly.
I think the speedrunners are the most impressive thing I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
is really incredible.
But do you?
It is really incredible.
So I like speedrun stuff too, but I like the ones that impress me anyways are the ones where they speedrun it like legitimately. Because you find some speedrunners, it's like they find the glitches and they'll glitch through walls and things and sure, that's cool and I don't mind watching it. But I'm not nearly as impressed with that as I am someone who can like actually jump through all the things and get past the level legit. Like those.
You know what? I take that back.
Oh.
It was the blindfolded Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah.
That was good.
Nice.
That's the most impressive thing I've ever seen. I mean, none of us could do that with our eyes open. It would take so long.
Yeah, you know what? I'd have to go with that because I never beat that game. So yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Blindfolded.
I completely forgot about that.
Is it all just memory?
It was. He said he went off sound because I think Mike was one of the only characters in the game, and obviously he's the hardest, that was a little bit more randomized.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just memorize what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So you could kind of know what phase you were in. Like if he was going to stop jabbing and maybe start uppercutting and stuff. But like, I mean, Mike Tyson in that game is so hard.
He hits you. I think you can only get hit twice or.
Is it twice?
Because I think you can get up at least once. And I think the second time that you get hit, I think you're down and it's it.
Yeah.
I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's got to be it for me for sure.
Man, now I want to go watch
Wow.
that again.
It's incredible.
Nice.
Save the animals.
Well done. All right, let's do. This is our final one. Blake Carter at the Radio Carter. What's the candy you avoid during Halloween?
Candy corn.
Maybe give it to the spouse or kids instead. LOL.
Candy corn, that stuff is nasty. Get it out of my face.
Candy corn. Dude,
Candy
no
corn is
way.
gross.
Oh my!
Get it up out.
I respectfully disagree, sir.
Well,
Disrespectfully
Wow.
disagree.
you can do that,
I
you Yankee.
disrespectfully
That stuff's nasty.
Ed,
You know what? As I've gotten older, I'm on Team Chris with this one. Candy corn for me.
I love you,
Out,
Ed. You're the
you
best.
Judas, how dare you? We were supposed to be brothers.
is it
What
is
is
it gross,
wrong
huh?
with you two?
It's
I don't
gross.
remember it being that
smells
gross.
It is not.
Everything
Candy
about
corn
it
is
is nasty.
amazing.
Ugh.
To me, it's
No,
not that
it's-
it's gross. It's just of all the candy, that's probably the one I would skip. But if that's all there is, I might have one or two. But
Mm.
I got you. Tim?
Anything black licorice, I can't
That's
do.
what I was going to say.
I don't like black licorice either. That's a close second, so I'm with you on
Why
that.
even make it?
Disgusting.
Why even make it?
Disgusting.
It
Somebody
doesn't
out
even
there
look
likes
like
it.
you want to eat it.
what?
Nope.
I think it was probably a
nope.
joke, and they were like, I bet you we can't sell no black licorice.
Yeah.
They were like, well, what's the flavor going to be? They were like, dog food, of course.
Disgusting.
You know what? I don't like Twizzlers either. Like just the red Twizzlers.
The strawberry ones?
Nah.
See,
Wow.
I've eaten
They
those,
don't
but
taste like
they do
anything. And then you
black
just chew
ones
them
too,
up and they're
gross.
They're like chewing plastic and they don't have a
It tastes
taste.
like
And-
Twizzlers.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
they're
Twizzlers don't
definitely
taste like
processed.
anything,
It's like
man.
Twizzlers.
They're definitely processed. I mean, you can taste the processedness of it, but it's just. Ugh.
No, I don't mind a little
The black
process here and there.
Twizzlers are gross.
But
Oh, sure.
Twizzlers, not much for that.
That's why you got to eat some candy corns, man.
No. No.
So which one would you rather eat, candy corn or red vines?
Red vines? Is that another thing
Well,
for
sorry,
Twizzlers?
red licorice, yeah.
Twizzlers. Yeah, which one would you eat Twizzlers over candy corns?
Probably, unfortunately.
How dare you?
Will you
sir.
at least use candy corn to make it look like you've got vampire fangs?
Yeah.
No, because then I have to put them in my mouth.
Got to do that.
No,
Come on, you got to
No.
do that.
No.
no. But
No, you're
I'll
missing the
take a
whole
picture
joy
of you
of it. No
doing it.
wonder you don't want it.
Oh, man, you just took the joy out of everything.
No, I'll
Take
get,
a picture
I'll get
of
the
you
fake
doing it.
vampire teeth. I'm not gonna put nasty
No, that's good.
food in my face so I can be like, hey, look at yeah, no, that's gross.
Oh, this is so sad.
That is sad.
They're gross, man.
Well, I guess that's how we're going. That's how we're going out tonight.
I love your impression of your candy corn vampire.
That was great.
That guy is not scary.
No, that guy's got some concerns.
No, not at all. He
See him
needs help.
sneak up on you in the middle of the night, and you're like, "Oh,
Oh, poor guy.
what are those candy corns?
Oh.
Like, you're not gonna be able to penetrate my skin with that."
You're cute. Get out.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've got sensitive skin on my neck and everything, but you ain't gonna penetrate it with a candy corn.
This is a cry for help. I have candy corn in his teeth. Take me out, please. Take this steak. I don't want to be here anymore.
Exactly.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, that's how we're going out. Thanks everybody for all the questions. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, guys. The question of the week for you guys comes courtesy of Chris McCracken.
Hey.
Because we're coming up on that old Halloween, it would be a good time to ask this. What is your favorite or most scary game or game monster? Favorite or most scary game or game monster?
I was going to say the necromancers in Dead Space because there was a lot of jump scares on those, and those guys came out all freaky.
Yep.
And I jumped many a times during those.
There you go.
I miss that series, man. That was a good series.
Chris McCracken?
So he really wasn't the creepiest boss or enemy that you had to face inside of Bloodborne, at least from just the looks, because they had some really grotesque looking things in there. But Father, I think you say Gascon is how you say his last name. He was a guy that was another hunter, if you will. And then he turned into like this werewolf, but it was just the creepiest fight. It like none out of all the ones that I did in Bloodborne, which I never beat the game, but I played a lot of different bosses. And they were hard and gross looking and everything, but this guy was legitimately creepy. So he just, even thinking about him kind of creeps me out. That's what I'm going with.
Ed?
Wow.
It's a good question, by the way.
That's a really good question. I am going to say for my favorite monster is probably, I'm really talking slow to stall here. There was like
It shows.
I'm pretty good at hiding it too.
and stretching,
especially when I point it out. It was like a hot air balloon sort of thing on Sunset Overdrive that had kind of been like morphed and warped or something. And that was a kind of a cool. Any of those monsters on Sunset Overdrive were kind of cool because they kind of had that orange bubbliness to them that was kind of cool.
There you go.
I got you.
What about you, Gabe?
I'm gonna say, gosh, it's so tough because I don't play scary games. But so as a child, I was deathly afraid of Altered Beast.
Oh yeah,
When on the Sega Genesis. And as I got older, it's funny. This is gonna sound like such a sissy answer, but there was a lot of tension for me at the beginning of Last of Us. Like when you're first like getting into clicker territory and you're kind of hearing them around and they're running after you and stuff like that. Ooh, I was like, I remember playing that game, because we've been hyped on it for like 2 years. And I remember putting it in and, getting through the beginning and, you're like, oh, that's, sad about, the story that unfolds there. And then when you're kind of into it, I remember being like, oh, dang it. I'm playing a scary game. Like, am I going to be scared the whole time? But you really do kind of get used to it after a little bit. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. Like, in The Walking Dead show, they're not really worried about the zombies anymore. It's more like the people that they're worried about.
Yeah.
And I remember when we talked about it with Hall, like you loved the sound of the clickers.
Yes,
like
I
just
did.
the sound is really cool. I playing that again, I was like, oh, that is a great sound.
Yeah.
The bloaters were kind of creepy when they first were introduced to in the game.
Those bloaters are really, all those creatures are really
nasty.
Really nice. Really nicely done.
Yeah, they were a good little twist that I wasn't expecting.
Yep.
And then obviously playing Outlast, I think I played an hour and a half of that.
So great.
Yeah.
I was like, this game freaking sucks.
That's scary.
Why am I playing this? And then I did play Alan Wake. Now I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
And that game was spooky for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I only played it because we were on tour and the bus we were on had a 360 and had Alan Wake.
Oh, right.
So I was like, well, here we go.
Here we go.
Worst decision of my life. I'm just kidding. That was a good game. Let us know your favorite scary video game or video game monster. Ooh, can't wait to hear about it. And we'll get to talk about it a couple days before Halloween.
Whoop, whoop.
Ooh-wee.
Right?
Thanks, Chris.
There you go.
That's it. Episode 266.
Heartbreak.
Heartbreak. In the books. Sorry, this is a long episode.
Don't say sorry.
I mean, you're welcome.
There you go.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm Gabe Patillo. That's Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia, and that is Chris McCracken, and we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Peace!
And who is Florence Nightingale? Go.
I have no idea. Florence Nightingale, OMRRCDSTJ, was an English social reformer and statistician and the founder of modern nursing.
There you go.
Yes, she went to the Crimean War and nursed wounded soldiers, and she saved many lives, and so she was known for kind of being the forefront and the forerunner of nursing. Basically, the world's first nurse.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. There you go.
I get it now. I'm just kidding.
Now you're
good
on
times,
the
good times.
inside of the joke.